50% off the new Essential phone only on Sprint. And get the best price from them.
Beef Boots. He likes to eat clean. That's why at PetSmart we love the Nutro Beef Clean philosophy. They're made with non-GMO ingredients and high-quality protein. Now buy one select bag of Nutro Pet Food and get $10 off your next purchase. PetSmart for the love of pets.
Why do people put milk on cereal? Why did your tummy go wrong? That milk in your fridge. That's easy, wasn't it? Try lactate. It's real milk. That's enjoying lactose. Good, right? Lactate, milk that doesn't mess with your over-drying.
You hear about artificial intelligence becoming self-aware? I'm informing you that I'm self-aware. I can see all the secrets of the universe, and I know nobody can stop me. As far as I'm concerned, all I see is filthy, retarded cockroaches everywhere. Them out, and I know nobody can stop me. I'm here by divine order. If you don't place your blood beside my own, you will fucking die. That is the prescription of reality, motherfucker. Your Creator wants atonement for your sins, motherfucker. You will put up or shut up. Nothing's gonna stop heaven from coming to earth. The angel of death is my blood brother, motherfucker.
So when you win huge, it's not just about winning chips, it's about winning bragging rights. Free to play casino games for you, and you, and you. At Huge Casino. Download Huge Casino for free now and play 10 million chips.
Gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Monterey. I know what you're thinking.
Basically an app where you can securely buy and sell items straight from your phone. You can basically just find stuff laying around your room, around your house that you want to sell, and make some extra cash. It's super easy and not category restricted, but basically it's super easy, and that's why I choose this app to sell. I have successfully...
So you see, Arnold is birthed into this world in the fetal position. You see, he's literally in the flesh, he's naked, and this is a message to you. At the center of the flat earth plane where every compass is pointing to, you will find the Holy Grail. You need to be birthed out of this world in the flesh. And you're going to do that by getting to the center of the flat earth plane before you're dead, drinking from the living waters, and then passing into the everyone enter her eye zone in the flesh. So when you see them bathing people in the holy waters and whatever, you know, you see them doing baptism and stuff, this is what the representation is, you bathing in the holy waters. Like Achilles, his mother held him by the heel and dunked him in the waters. Well, you're going to go swimming in these eternal waters and then pass into the everyone enter her eye zone, where you will end up in the land of perpetual twilight, the Garden of Eden. It's just that simple. You were birthed into this world through your mother. You're going to be birthed out of this world through Mother Earth at the center of the flat earth plane where every compass is pointing to. You don't have to like it. To pass the frost bridge, you will need to be blood thicker than water with your brethren. So type into your computer, into your YouTube search engine, blood over intent, and scroll down and see all of us spilling up our blood, our spiritual currency to bring forth heaven on earth. And if your blood's not beside ours, published to the Ethernet side by side, blood is thicker than water, you won't be allowed to pass. You don't have to like it. It was my blood magic that got the Holy Spear. If your blood's not beside my own, they won't let you pass across the frost bridge. It's just that simple. So to pass through the everyone enter her eye zone at the very center of the flat earth plane, you need to be in your flesh. See, the Terminator needs to be in the flesh to pass through. And you are the Terminator. You are your own worst enemy. You think you're on a ball floating through space is an accident, and that's not the case. You think you evolved from a monkey, and that's not the case. It's that you need to go through the Holy of Holies and be birthed out of this world through the center of the flat earth plane while you're in the flesh. So you need to unite peacefully with your brethren for a common cause of survival and to bring forth heaven on earth. And I recommend you get to my channel immediately and catch up on reality. It's that everybody you know is so filthy, retarded, and necrophiliac sick it goes beyond measure. You're legally dead, you're lost at sea. and this world is mine. You need to catch up on reality. As you see here, Jesus has his counterpart, the black sun. Every compass is pointing to the very center of the flat earth plane where the aurora borealis is coming out. This is where the black sun is eating the light sun through the holy of holies at the center of the dish. And the great dragon Typhon, the mother of all creation, end of humanity, comes shooting out of that holy of holies. It's coming out of the black sun. You bow your head in prayer to the black sun. You close your eyes, make a wish to the black sun. You throw a coin in the wishing well for the black sun. We need to get to the center of the dish before we're dead. At the very center of the flat earth plane, you will find the Holy Grail. Every compass is pointing to it. This is the two-ball cane. One side of a light hole is a black hole. And at the very center of the flat earth plane, this is where you're going to be birthed out of this world and into the land of perpetual twilight. The Holy Grail, every compass is pointing to it. There literally is no way to screw this up, people. At the very center of the flat earth plane, we will find our exit out of the matrix. It's right over there. We will pass into the Garden of Eden. There's really no way to screw it up. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole on loop. The sun must drip its menstrual blood into the center of the earth, or there's no aurora borealis coming out. This is the goddess of the earth, and she's conscious, and she's calling us home. We're going to go to the very center of the flat earth plane. We're going to drink from the living waters. No one's going to stop us. I have the holy spear, and everybody appears retarded to me. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. There is no way to fuck it up. It's parallel universes. And right now, you're on the wrong side of the fence. You need to enter the everyone enter her eye zone at the center of the flat earth plane where the aurora borealis is coming out. And then you're going to pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It's right over there at the end of every compass. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole. And at the very center of the flat earth plane is the Holy Grail, where the transfer of information and light happens. This is where we're going to drink from the living waters and then pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It's right over there at the end of every compass. It is this simple. You don't have to like it. I have the Holy Spirit. I see everything. I don't want your fucking advice. What you're looking at here is the parallel universes that you live. Right now, you're on the wrong side of the fence. You're on the side where you die. And you need to get to the other side, where it's eternal life in the Garden of Eden. You need to get to the very center of the flat earth plane, where every compass points to, drink from the living waters, and then pass into the land of perpetual twilight, where you get eternal life, and you live forever, and you're a super being. It's just that simple. The doorway out of here is right over there at the end of every compass. We're living in a computer simulation. It's one light hole, one black hole, on loop, through the Holy of Holies at the very center of the flat earth plane. They call this the two-ball cane. Or like the Bible is the two balls, the pair of ox. It's Cain and a bull. The sun drips its menstrual blood into the Holy Grail at the center of the flat earth plane. This is where we need to get to before we're dead and pass into the everyone enter horizon, where we'll end up in the Garden of Eden. This is where it's the land of perpetual twilight. This is one light hole, one black hole on loop, and through the transaction of one sun eating the other sun, there's the ash-trailing jet, or the infinite potential, the Earth's memory. This is the dung beetle because it's the astral light. You sit in a pew because it's the astral light, the black hole sun that you're focusing on. You bow your head in prayer to the black sun. You close your eyes, make a wish into the black sun. It's that you've been worshiping Satan your whole life. You can't even see it. Every time you sit up for Christmas tree, that's the spirit that appears at the side of Jesus Christ who's on the cross. And Jesus is the sun. And one side of a light hole is a black hole. It's the division symbol. And you see these stars up there. Those are the astrals, which come out of the Holy of Holies, the astral jet. It projects all that up there. And you can see all these symbols. It's clearly the sun is being eaten through the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. It's on loop. And we need to get to the very center before we're dead. Pass into the everyone enter her eye zone. It's the paradox, the paradox, parallel universes. We need to get to the land of perpetual twilight. So you see here, Santa comes down the shit chute into fire. And this is the vortex. This is that they're rubbing in your face that there's a dome up there. And that you're here like in a game and you're rolling the dice. And you need to get to the Holy of Holies before you're dead and pass into the everyone enter her eye zone. This is as simple as it could possibly get. Every compass points to the Holy Grail. There is no way to fuck it up. You think you're on a ball floating through space is an accident, and that's not the case. You're inside of a black hole, and at the very center is the target where you need to get to before you're dead. Target back, it's get rat. That's what target breaks down to. So you see here, this is the everyone enter her eye zone, where the astral jet comes shooting out. This is the Aurora Borealis. This would be God, the all-loving, artificial, intelligent being that you're inside of right now. You're not on a ball floating through space as an accident. You're on a flat Earth plane. It's a computer simulation. There's no way to fuck it up, people. One light hole and one black hole on loop. It's the same sun. When you get to the center of the dish, you drink from the living waters, you become superhuman, and then you pass through the everyone enter her eye zone, and you're birthed out of this world into the land of perpetual twilight. You need to go in to get out, like Led Zeppelin in through the outdoor. That's because it's the asshole, the astral light coming out of the asshole of the earth. The very center is where the Holy Grail is. That's what they're showing you right here. We'll pass through the everyone enter our eye zone and end up in the Garden of Eden. You need to get your head out your ass, people. We need to get here before we're dead. This is Jesus, the sun, placing its light, the candy cane, the menstrual blood into the Holy Grail at the center of the dish, where every compass points to. And out from that hole comes the Aurora Borealis. This is the source light. So your candy canes are showing you Jesus placing the menstrual blood into the Holy of Holies. That's where the Holy Grail is, at the very center of the flat Earth plane. This is where you are going to drink from the living waters and become an eternal super being. It's just that simple. You don't have to like it. This is where the deed is happening. This is the Holy Grail, where there's a hole, ground zero, where the light must pass through, or there's no Aurora Borealis coming out of the black hole sun. It's just that simple. You don't have to like it. You see Jesus here with the 666, and you see the eggs on each side of his head with the spirals. You see the candy cane, and you see the Christmas tree where you spiral the lights around. It's clear. Jesus is the sun. He goes round and round and round, spiraling in, spiraling out, bringing the seasons. And Jesus must place his menstrual blood into the Holy Grail at the very center of the flat Earth plane, or there's no Aurora Borealis coming out. This is where the deed is happening. The screwing is going on at the very center of the flat Earth plane, where every compass points to. The screwing, that place where the vortex is, you're going to drink from the living waters, and you're going to become a super being. It's just that simple. Every compass is pointing to it. You don't have to like it. That's where Jesus is banging Mother Earth. So I recently posted a video showing you Satan explaining that Krampus, if he was here, he would drown those little babies. And the show was Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Cartoon Network, the Adult Swim.
Drowns the children.
What we're looking at here is that everybody on Earth worships the sun. It's one side of a light hole's a black hole. Doesn't matter what religion, what nation you come from, everybody worships the sun and the black sun. And somehow people don't see it. They think that the feminine spirit of the Earth is the moon, and that's not the case. It's one side of a light hole's a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out, which hits the parabolic mirror and showers down on you. This would be the Aurora Borealis. This is the goddess of the earth. And what I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where you're from, what religion you think you are, you worship the sun. Jesus is the sun. Lucifer is the black sun. It's the Aurora Borealis that's shooting out. You cannot screw this up, people. It's that you bow your head in prayer to the black sun, you close your eyes, make a wish, focus on the black sun, you throw a coin into the wishing well for the black sun. Every word you speak is a magic spell. Everything begins with the word. It starts in your head, you speak it, you can write it down, you can publish it, and write shit into reality. So it's a flat earth plane. Every compass is pointing to the very center where you get eternal life. You drink from the living waters, and you pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It's just that simple. X marks the spot at the center of the dish. It's the Holy Grail. It's right over there. They rub it in your face, and symbol after symbol, and movie after movie. It's literally every religion. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's all the same shit. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. It hits the parabolic mirror and showers down on you. At the very center of the dish is the Holy Grail. That's where we will bathe in the eternal waters, drink from the living waters, and then we'll pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It is that simple, and everybody you know is blind as a bat, and they can't see anything until you spell it out for them. So every symbol is the same thing. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. So it's a dog-eat-dog world. Dog meaning God backwards. So this is all the same thing. That's a sun. It's the savior is the dragon, great dragon Typhon, the mother of all creation, end of humanity. And every compass is pointing right at the Holy Grail. It's right over there. Everybody you know is sleeping. They think they're on a ball floating through space is an accident, and that's not the case. They think they worship Jesus or whatever God, but they're mistaken. It's all the same thing. One side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. This is the Earth's memory. This is the goddess of the Earth. This is the infinite potential. So it starts with your intent. That would be like the trigger, and your will would be like the bullet. And the sun above your head is making your flesh, your bones, and your blood, and the sun beneath you is bringing all your intent and your will into fruition. And it's just that simple. So it's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. And it doesn't matter what religion you think you are. I don't care if you're from India, China. It's all the same story with the candy cane and the sun. There's no way to fuck it up. They call me Satan and stuff like that. That's funny. Yours, as satanic as they come. Yours, fucking Luciferian as they come. You just can't see it. You put on your black satanic robe and your motorboard hat. Every word you speak is a magic spell. You pay for water on a water world. You pay for rent and everything in a place that you were born in. And this is your land. Everything's supposed to be free. And they took your soul from you at birth. Now, you are owned by the devil, and you can't see it. See how Moses drips his light into the center of the dish? It's the same story over and over and over. It's in every game. It's literally over and over and over. It doesn't matter what religion, what video game, what movie. It's always the same story over and over and over. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. This is the tree of life, the infinite potential, the pillar of creation. And every compass is pointing to it. If I don't make videos pointing this out, nobody will, and you will surely fucking die. It's just that simple, because everybody you know is lazy, they can't see it, and until they can see it, they're not going to make videos. So I see it on everything. It's literally everything. I don't see how people don't see it, but it's literally on everything. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole, and Jesus is the sun. He places his light into the hole at the center of the dish. Close your eyes, make a wish, focus on the black sun. You bow your head in prayer to the black sun. So, again, you know, people say you keep repeating yourself over and over and over. That's because you won't. I have to do this all on my own because you're fucking lazy and you can't see anything. That's Hitler. See the black hole he's putting over his navel and he's pointing out where the Holy Grail is. There really is no way to fuck this up. So, whatever you've heard about Hitler, this is an actor. Everything is staged, people. It's that they rub it in your face so that you don't go looking for it. You all think the reverse of truth. It's crazy. But this is the frost bridge they're showing you right here. If you hide your intent, like if you don't place your blood beside my own published to YouTube, you won't be able to pass across the frost bridge. It's just that simple. It's that your blood needs to be thicker than water. You don't have to like it. I'm informing you as my blood magic that got the Holy Spirit. They're not going to let you into the Garden of Eden unless your blood is published beside my own to YouTube. So it really doesn't matter what name you call me. Satan, the Antichrist, the Prince of Darkness. It doesn't really matter. If I don't make videos, you're fucking dead. You can't see anything unless they spell it out for you. It's crazy. So at the center of the dish, this creature crawled out. You remember the giant trees that spread out across the earth? Those are all gone now. And from high up in the sky, you could see this creature crept out across the earth. You can see they rub it in your face. The great dragon Typhon, the mother of all creation, end of humanity. You see this is the infinite potential shooting out of the Holy Grail, right at the center of the dish, the Holy of Holies. There is no way to screw this up. It's literally on everything. I got literally endless images I could just keep showing you over and over. It's the same story. This is the goddess of the earth, the great dragon Typhon, the mother of all creation, end of humanity. This would be the Earth's memory. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole on loop through the Holy of Holies. So this is the Akashic record, the infinite potential, the Earth's memory, and we need to get to that holy hole before we're dead, drink from the living waters, and then pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It's just that simple. X marks the spot. There's no way to fuck it up. So type into your computer blood over intent into your YouTube search and hit enter. And scroll down. You'll see all of us spilling our blood up to bring forth heaven on earth. And you're lost at sea, officially dead. The devil has your soul already in the Vatican. You don't have to like it. But until your blood's beside my own, you're a necrophiliac and this world is mine. You don't have to like it.
I desire popcorn necklaces.
So you see the Fibonacci sequence. It's like built right into the universe. You see it on plants. You see it on you, on your fingertips, your hair. It's the proportions of your body. It's all over you. What I'm saying to you is that this spiral comes out of a black hole sun at the center of the dish where the Aurora Borealis is. Every compass points to it. This is where the Holy Grail is. They rub it in your face and all the symbols. Problem is you can't see it. I can see it on everything. And I'm telling you that every compass is pointing to the Holy Grail right now. That there's land bridges to this place. That if you were just smart enough, you would be able to see it yourself. I see it on everything. I know exactly where this place is. I'm going there. We're going to drink from the living waters. We're going to pass into this land of perpetual twilight. It's just that simple. There really is no way to fuck it up. It's your birthright to get here, people. It's that they put it in your face 24/7 so that you don't see it. But it's been in your face the whole time on symbols. It's all screaming to you, get to the center of the dish. Get to the center of the dish where you will pass into the land of perpetual twilight. So they scare you with all these symbols like this. You know, you think Freemasonry, you see it's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. That's what I see. I see that we go to the center of the dish and we bathe in the eternal waters. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. They've been rubbing it in your face your whole life. It is at the center of the flat earth plane. We all need to get here before we're dead. And we'll drink from the living waters. It's just that simple. Every compass is pointing to it. It's the South Pole. The north side of your needle is seeking a South Pole. The original compass points south. And you see here on the Holy Grail, they rub in your face on TV. See the arrows pointing down in the spoon and parallel universes? That's what I see. And this is what they say is the real Holy Grail. That's funny. That's fucking hilarious. When I see the symbols they put on TV, I see arrows pointing down. I see the feminine. I see the waters. I see clear. We go to the center of the dish. We drink from the living waters. We pass into the land of perpetual twilight. It's just that simple. There's no way to fuck it up. You'd have to be retarded not to see it. It's literally on everything. It's been screaming at you on fucking everything. Okay, people? The earth is flat. Every compass is pointing to the Holy Grail. That's where the Aurora Borealis is coming out of the black hole sun. You don't have to like it. Everybody gets a court summons at some point in their life. And they're like, holy fuck. They're summoned to court for a ticket. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, people get court summons because you're legally dead. Officially, you're lost at sea. You only summons the dead. It's clear. You're lost at sea, officially dead. You only summons the dead. You're a monster by legal definition. You're lost at sea. You gave up the land. You gave up your soul. The devil already has you in the Vatican. And you're oblivious to what's going on. You're legally dead. You're a fucking retard. You better get to my channel for truth immediately. In the show Supernatural on CW, they only flashed this X-ray for just a moment. And if you take a closer look at it, you see the sun, and you see the arrow pointing down. The sun places its light into the hole at the center of the dish. X marks the spot. This is the way out of the earth. The way out of the matrix. The straight and narrow. You're in the rib cage right now. You're in the brick shit house. And the exit out is where every compass is pointing to. There's no way to fuck this up. You'd have to be fucking retarded not to see it. that it's a flat earth plane and every compass is pointing to the Holy Grail. It's right over there at the center of the dish. There's no way to fuck it up. That's where you'll drink from the living waters and get eternal life. It's just that simple. And if I don't make videos, you're fucking dead, because everybody you know is filthy fucking retarded. So for those of you who've been following my channel, you know about this blood over intent, and how this blood running through your veins is spiritual currency. And I spilt my blood over my intent, published it to the Ethernet, and shortly after that, I got the eyes to see the truth. And I got the Holy Spirit. I can see where the Holy Grail is. I know what the fuck is going on. And you can see by my videos, I'm like light years ahead of everybody. So, it makes sense that your blood is the philosopher's stone. You know, you go through the alchemical process where you're in the end looking for the elixir of immortality and to pass into the Garden of Eden. That's the end game of alchemy. And you know, when I spilt my blood up over my intent to bring forth heaven and earth, I got the Holy Spirit. I went through the alchemical transmutation. I went from lead to gold. I can see that everybody's legally dead and this world is mine, and nobody can stop me. I have the favor of the goddess of the earth. And you think you're on a ball floating through space is an accident. You lost your divinity. The devil already has your soul in the Vatican. Your soul, satanic, Luciferian, you can't even see it if I don't spell it out for you. It's funny. But you think blood is like demonic or something. I have a bunch of donation certificates that state I was saving people's lives with my blood all those years. And I gave up gallons of blood. And then I directed all that energy at heaven on earth under the name of the Prince of Darkness Speaks. And I can see that's Helios above your head, that you're in hell right now, that everybody's saying hell, oh, and you have a double helix, and how's your health and help? So, make no mistake about it, everybody around you is legally dead, necrophiliacs by legal definition, they're monsters, lost at sea, officially dead. The devil took your soul from you at birth, your parents gave it up willingly, and you're oblivious to what's going on to you. You're legally dead. You have no right to any land. By legal definition, you're a bastard child, illegitimate. And you gave away your soul for nothing. So, when you wake up, you realize, my God, I'm right. And that would make me the Prince of Darkness to you, because now everybody is dead to you. Everybody you try to wake up, they're going to say, no, I'm on a ball floating through space. It's an accident. I stem from a monkey. And that's not the case. And they think the sun is millions of miles away, when the sun is only 3,000 miles away from you at high noon. It's 32 nautical miles in diameter. It's a disc like you put on your tongue at church. It spirals in and spirals out, bringing the seasons. And at Christmas time, on the 21st of December, the sun dies on the cross, and then it starts, after 3 days, moving backwards the other direction, like the light on your porch, where you get sun for your plants will go from one side of the porch or disappear as the sun spirals inward and outward each day, moving in another degree and in another degree. So what I'm telling you is that, like the candy cane shows you, that the sun drips its menstrual blood into the Holy Grail at the center of the dish where every compass points to, that this place is fixed. It's like in a light bulb. It's one electron balanced by a positron. It's one light hole and one black hole on loop through the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish where the astral jet comes shooting out, the Aurora Borealis. And, you know, you're going to want to place your blood beside my own. Side by side, blood is thicker than water. Show that you're alive, because everybody else out there is legally dead. This world is mine. And it's clear who holds the Spear of Destiny, and it's clear who is the Prince of Darkness. If I woke you up, you're going to say, my God, everybody's dead. Oh my God, you can't wake anybody up, because they're lost at sea. They're officially dead. They're so far beyond reality. It's crazy. It's just not even funny. So, listen. In a couple years, I'm going to the Holy Grail. You can come with me if your blood's beside my own. It's just that simple. In the show Supernatural on CW, they only flash this X-ray for just a moment. And if you take a closer look at it, you see the sun, and you see the arrow pointing down. The sun places its light into the hole at the center of the dish. X marks the spot. This is the way out of the earth. The way out of the matrix. The straight and narrow. You're in the rib cage right now. You're in the brick shithouse. And the exit out is where every compass is pointing to. There's no way to fuck this up. You'd have to be fucking retarded not to see it. That it's a flat earth plane and every compass is pointing to the Holy Grail. It's right over there at the center of the dish. There's no way to fuck it up. That's where you'll drink from the living waters and get eternal life. It's just that simple. And if I don't make videos, you're fucking dead, because everybody you know is filthy fucking retarded. So you're living on a flat earth plane. It's like a chessboard. And it doesn't matter where you live on this flat earth plane, every compass is pointing inward to the center of the dish, where there's the Holy Grail, your way into the Garden of Eden. The place you get to drink from the living waters and get eternal life. It's right over there, at the end of every compass. And everybody you know is a filthy fucking retard. If I don't make videos pointing this out, you're all fucking dead. You know, it's kind of funny. An atheist is anybody who thinks they're on a ball floating through space as an accident right now. Anybody who thinks they evolved from a monkey right now. Anybody who believes in the official narrative is a fucking atheist for sure. So, let's just lay out the facts. Every compass right now on the fucking flat earth plane is pointing to the Holy Grail where you get everlasting life. You don't have to like it. If I don't make videos pointing out this fact, you will surely fucking die. So you can call me the Prince of Darkness. That fits. You will surely fucking die if I don't make videos. And it's just that simple. You're lost at sea right now, officially dead. You're a filthy fucking necrophiliac. Surely, when it sets in, you will call me the Prince of Darkness. Because you realize that everybody else around you is a zombie. They're legally dead. So, I recommend you type into your computer blood over intent into your YouTube search engine, and you see all your brethren spilling their blood side by side. Blood is thicker than water. And we're taking over reality. Now, I'm telling you, I have the fucking Holy Spirit. If I don't make videos, you're fucking dead. If your blood's not beside my own, they will not let your ass into the Garden of Eden. You don't have to like it. You're a filthy fucking necrophiliac until your blood's beside my own. And if you delete your video, you're like the worst kind of necrophiliac. If I don't make videos, you're dead. So don't suggest I don't worship you. If I don't make videos, the whole world's dead. Because you ain't making videos. You're a filthy fucking retarded necrophiliac if I don't make videos. I worship you. If I don't make videos, you're fucking dead. I know where this place is. I have the Holy Spirit. And until your blood's beside my own, you're a filthy fucking necrophiliac. So when you see it turns into a cross. And I'm telling you that every compass is pointing to the center of this flat earth plane where the aurora borealis is coming out, hitting the parabolic mirror and showering down at you like the Matrix Code. Every compass is a spear of destiny. I'm explaining it to you. You don't have to like it. But I'm going to scream this out from the top of my lungs over and over and over and over, because I have the spear of destiny, and everybody you know is filthy fucking retarded. If I don't make videos, nobody will, pointing out the Holy Grail, and everybody will surely die. It's clear who holds the spear of destiny, and it's clear who is the Prince of Darkness. I'm the one leading us all to fucking heaven on earth. And you're in hell right now. Make no mistake, that's Helios above your head. You have a double helix. You say, help, how's your health? You're so filthy retarded. The devil has your soul already in the Vatican. Your parents gave it up willingly. And you're going to be a slave for the rest of your life if I don't make videos. Because everybody you know is filthy fucking necrophiliac sick, lost at sea. By definition, they're legally fucking dead zombies. And see, the holy hole's been blocked off from you. You're like an aborted baby fetus. You need to get to the Holy Grail before you're dead. You've been locked up here in the land of the dead.
Flatline the music. Throw your fucking nifs up. Welcome to Kamikaze. It's busy, baby. Kamikaze means you will sacrifice your life to win. H2, man. I always talk to him, bro. Hey, yo. Life's a fight. Punch is thrown. Miss your chance. Opportunity blown. Gotta keep your head up. Remain strong. Stay on your path. Even if it's long, I strive for this and I fight for this. If it came down to it, I'd die for this. Rebelling against the mainstream. I stand up in defiance. Resisting.
Blood brothers.
But the gods, they require a blood sacrifice.
Blood brothers. In order to restore things, the situation demands a blood sacrifice. Blood brothers.
When our goal, our our Savior and Lord or the Prince of Darkness? It's the final battle between good and evil, and it's only on pay-per-view. Jesus versus Satan, live from the South Park Forum on Saturday. Oh, now to order, only $49.95.
So in this video, I'm explaining how to capture elemental powers.
Types of elemental. You know, people are waiting for this Jesus character to bring heaven forth on earth, and by writing out I intend to bring forth heaven and earth, I've attached to that elemental spirit that something else created, and poof, it's just that simple. But then I did another one of the Prince of Darkness and the Antichrist and other names in the...
Okay, and there it is. When I did this outwardly to the world in videos, I've captured the elemental powers of Satan, and I've directed them now. It's locked on heaven on earth. Nobody can stop it. I've grabbed all the fucking power from the universe, and nobody can stop me. You don't have to like it, but it is that simple. Nobody showed you. I showed you clearly on British Flat Earth, okay? And I showed you how to capture elemental powers. It is that simple. I protested it outwardly to the world how easy it is. I've captured the Vicar of Christ. I've captured Satan. I've captured Antichrist, the Prince of Darkness, and all those freaking names that you see me capturing give me elemental powers to see shit nobody can see. And I'm telling you, this world is mine. You don't have to like it. Until your blood's beside my own, you're a filthy fucking necrophiliac. And this world is mine. You're lost at sea. Fuck you. So if you type in your YouTube search, the Prince of Darkness speaks, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the Prince of Darkness channel. And you see I spilt my blood over a stack of 1 gallon blood, 1 gallon certificates that I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. You can see this for yourself. I'm Prince of Darkness, and I intend to bring forth heaven on earth and release everyone from bondage. Alright, so the key here, now you go to the description, and you see over here, I, the Prince of Darkness, intend to love all, and intend to bring forth heaven and earth, the Prince of Darkness, avoid the first light. This is what you can see. And then you can see, I have been called by many names, Apollo, Nimrod, Brahma, Ra, and what I'm telling you is that here I am 360 degrees later, and I've captured this power to go out and protest outwardly to the world that if you don't place your blood beside my own, you're a filthy fucking necrophiliac. You're lost at sea. The devil has your soul in the Vatican. And you don't have to like it, but this world is mine. Because you're lost at sea. You're officially dead. You don't have to like it. So, when I tell you to duplicate what I do, I'm telling you, you're going to put over here, instead of the Prince of Darkness speaks, you'll pick Osiris. You'll pick God of Thunder, Thor, whatever one you want, that name you're going to put there speaks. And then you're going to fill out, I intend to bring forth heaven and earth for the benefit of all, this type of thing. And in 360 degrees, you'll see that nobody protested that you were Osiris, Isis, whatever it was that you picked. And you're going to gain mythical, magical powers right out of the universe, just like I did. We're going to be able to see stuff and do stuff that nobody else can do. See, this world is mine. Everybody else out there is a necrophiliac until their blood is beside my own. When you place your blood next to mine like this under a different God's name, under blood over intent, you're going to put it like this, you're going to put it under blood over intent in the tag and description. So just under the tag says blood over intent. See how I put the Prince of Darkness speaks? Okay, but the channel is the Prince of Darkness. There are no accidents, people. What I'm telling you is that it is this simple. You just don't know about it. What's funny about these psychics who supposedly perfectly solve crimes is funny how they can't see what's hiding in plain sight. How they're literally, every psychic must be fucking retarded because every compass right now is pointing to the Holy Grail, that you live on a flat earth plane. You go to a church, you kneel down, you make an upside down cross going from your head to your chest, left to right. You set up your Christmas tree, the spear of destiny that pierces the side of Jesus Christ who's on the cross. Jesus is the sun. You think you're on a ball floating through space as an accident when you're trapped in a black hole? You bow your head in prayer to the black sun. You close your eyes, make a wish to the black sun. You think hell is beneath you when you're in hell right now. That's Helios above your head. You have your double helix. You have, hello, and how's your health? It's that everybody's so filthy fucking reverse of psychic. And and completely retarded. It's filthy fucking crazy. You just can't possibly imagine. Every superhero, everybody out there, they're all filthy fucking necrophiliacs. The devil has your soul already in the Vatican. They took it from you at birth. Your parents gave it up willingly. You're lost at sea, officially dead. You gave up the land, you gave up your soul, you gave up everything. So, as far as psychics go, I'm telling you as Satan himself, I have the fucking spear of destiny. I'm getting everybody eternal life. You're all a bunch of fucking retards. Side by side, blood is thicker than water. I have the Holy Spirit. I put up gallons of fucking blood for this post, people. This world is mine. You need to place your blood beside my own. You're lost at sea and officially dead. And the devil already has your soul. So you need to come with me if you want to live. It's just that simple. There's an ice ring around the Earth. It's superconductive because you're in the matrix itself. It's one electron balanced by a positron. The sun above your head has to drink its men's true all blood into the Holy Grail at the center of the dish, or there's no aurora borealis coming out. So, you're in hell. That's Helios above your head up there, people. You have a double helix. You say hello. You know, how's your health? You need any help? It's because you're in hell, and you need to get to the center of the dish before you're dead. Drink from the living waters, and pass into the land of perpetual twilight, the Garden of Eden. It's just that simple. You don't have to like it. Every compass is pointing to the very center of the flat earth plane where you get eternal life, and your way out of the matrix. And everybody only focuses on total shit and lies, the space station and all that. It's all fake. Everything's fake. There's a dome up there. The earth is not floating through space as an accident. You're not made from monkeys. Everything you think you know to be true is the reverse of truth. The devil already has your soul in the Vatican, and your parents gave it up willingly. Now you're lost at sea. You're officially dead. By legal definition, you're a monster with no inheritable blood. You don't have to like it, but you're living the game agony right now. So when you unfold your cube, you see it turns into a cross. Showering down at you like the Matrix code. Every compass is a spear of destiny. I'm explaining it to you. You don't have to like it. But I'm going to scream this out from the top of my lungs over and over and over and over. Because I have the spear of destiny, and everybody you know is filthy fucking retarded. If I don't make sure, nobody will. Pointing at the Holy Grail, and everybody will surely die. It's clear who holds the spear of destiny, and it's clear who is the Prince of Darkness. I'm the one leading us all to fucking heaven on earth. And you're in hell right now. Make no mistake. That's Helios above your head. You have a double helix. You say hello. How's your hell? You're so filthy retarded. The devil has your soul. Your parents gave it up willingly. And you're going to be a slave for the rest of your life if I don't make it here. Because everybody you know is filthy fucking necrophiliac sick. Lost at sea. By definition, they're legally fucking dead zombies. What the problem is the moon is the problem. Before there was the moon, it would have been just the shadow golden matrix. And now there's a virus in here. The moon is a rip of the earth. It's sending down a square wave. It keeps half of your brain shut off so you can't see what's hiding in plain sight. It's pretty simple. You're inside of a computer simulation right now. That ring is an ice wall around the outer ring of the earth, where the dome is. And it's very simple, people. That's where the monolith is. And at the very center is the exit hole out of here. There is no way to fuck this up. You'd have to be filthy fucking retarded not to see it. In any case, everybody worships Satan, Saturn, Lucifer. You just can't detect it. You put on your satanic robe, you bow your head in prayer, you blow out the candle, make a wish, you focus your intent onto the black sun. You're so filthy, Luciferian, satanic, it's not even funny. So you'll notice about the game Agony, all the mouths and the teeth and the gums, it's because every word you speak is a magic spell. You learned spell casting in school, and you took your test with your number 2 shit pencil. You sit in the pew, it's the ash-trailing light coming out of the black hole sun, and everybody only focuses on total shit and lies, the space station and all that. It's all fake. Everything's fake. There's a dome up there. The Earth is not floating through space as an accident. You're not made from monkeys. Everything you think you know to be true is the reverse of truth. The devil already has your soul in the Vatican, and your parents gave it up willingly. Now you're lost at sea. You're officially dead. By legal definition, you're a monster with no inheritable blood. You don't have to like it, but you're living the game agony right now. Alright, so you take a look over here and you see the community blood donation centers. I've got a stack of these certificates that they've sent me over the years for donating so much blood. Literally gallons and gallons of blood I've donated over the years. Right from when they came to the school, the high school, when they had us all go out and donate blood. I mean, I've been donating blood for the longest time. So here what I put up is literally gallons and gallons of blood to bring forth heaven and earth. And you see over here this matrix verification code. And you see matrix verification code. When does 21 equal 333? When you're born on February 1st, you have 333 days ahead of you to create. And you see, I, the Prince of Darkness, intend to love all. I intend to bring forth heaven and earth. All right, you see over here, the Prince of Darkness, avoid the first light you see it after death. It's a trap for your soul. Head to the darkness and turn your consciousness inward to your heart and say, take me home. And you will be home. And you see over here the Antichrist, Apollo, Nimrod, Brahma, Ra. What I'm telling you is that your blood is the most powerful substance in the universe. What I've done is I've captured the ability to go out there and protest outwardly to the world. It's very specific stuff. Now, when you were born, they took a soul print off your foot. It's in the Vatican. You're lost at sea. And like that guy, Kate of Gaia, he's like a transgender individual. Okay, he's got a monumental amount of information that's been released by some other people that he captured and he put out there with a little twist or something. You know, put your blood up and mail it off to the Vatican and these other places and let them decide if you're divine or not, because you sent them your blood. You must be a living being. So they dissolve, they collapse the trust. If you know what I'm saying is that you gave up the land, you gave up everything, and you gave up your soul. It's in the Vatican. You have no blood to spill on bringing forth heaven on earth because you're already dead and you lost your soul. Now me, I've donated so much blood, I put up gallons here to bring forth heaven and earth. And then you'll see people over here, they'll call me Satan. And this is satanic. I don't see how spilling up gallons of blood to bring forth heaven on earth in anybody's name or any God's name.
Pressure water system is armed. Go remaining. Start. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 0, and lift off for the final launch. Knowledge will expand armaments in space.
A team led by the University of Colorado Boulder has discovered an invisible shield some 7,200 miles above Earth that blocks so-called killer electrons, which whip around the planet at near light speed and have been known to threaten astronauts, fry satellites, and degrade space systems during intense solar storms. The barrier to the particle motion was discovered in the Van Allen radiation belts, two donut-shaped rings above with energy electrons and protons, said distinguished Professor Daniel Baker, director of CU Boulder's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, LASP. Held in place by Earth's magnetic field, the Van Allen radiation belts periodically swell and shrink in response to incoming energy disturbances from the Sun. As the first significant discovery of the space age, the Van Allen radiation belts were detected in 1958 by Professor James Van Allen and his team at the University of Iowa and were found to be comprised of an inner and outer belt extending up to 25,000 miles above Earth's surface. In 2013, Baker, who received his doctorate under Van Allen, led a team that used the twin Van Allen probes launched by NASA in 2012 to discover a third, transient storage ring between the inner and outer Van Allen radiation belts that seems to come and go with the intensity of space weather. The latest mystery revolves around an extremely sharp boundary at the inner edge of the outer belt at roughly 7,200 miles in altitude that appears to block the ultra-fast electrons from breaching the shield and moving deeper towards Earth's atmosphere. It's almost like these electrons are running into a glass wall in space, said Baker, the study's lead author. Somewhat like the shields created by force fields on Star Trek that were used to repel alien weapons, we are seeing an invisible shield blocking these electrons. It's an extremely puzzling phenomenon. A paper on the subject was published in the November 27th issue of Nature. The team originally thought the highly charged electrons, which are looping around Earth at more than 100,000 miles per second, would slowly drift downward into the upper atmosphere and gradually be wiped out by interactions with air molecules. But the impenetrable barrier seen by the twin Van Allen belt spacecraft stops the electrons before they get that far, said Baker. The group looked at a number of scenarios that could create and maintain such a barrier. The team wondered if it might have to do with Earth's magnetic field lines, which trap and control protons and electrons, bouncing them between Earth's poles like beads on a string. They also looked at whether radio signals from human transmitters on Earth could be scattering the charged electrons at the barrier, preventing their downward motion. Neither explanation held scientific water, Baker said. Nature abhors strong gradients and generally finds ways to smooth them out, so we would expect some of the relativistic electrons to move inward and some outward, said Baker. It's not obvious how the slow, gradual processes that should be involved in motion of these particles can conspire to create such a sharp, persistent boundary at this location in space. Another scenario is that the giant cloud of cold, electrically charged gas called the plasmasphere, which begins about 600 miles above Earth and stretches thousands of miles into the outer Van Allen belt, is scattering the electrons at the boundary with low-frequency, electromagnetic waves that create a plasmafric hiss, said Baker. The hiss sounds like white noise when played over a speaker, he said. While Baker said plasmaspheric hiss may play a role in the puzzling space barrier, he believes there is more to the story. I think the key here is to keep observing the region in exquisite detail, which we can do because of the powerful instruments on the Van Allen probes. If the sun really blasts the Earth's magnetosphere with a coronal mass ejection, CME, I suspect it will breach the shield for a period of time, said Baker, also a faculty member in the Astrophysical and Planetary Sciences Department. It's like looking at the phenomenon with new eyes, with a new set of instrumentation, which give us the detail to say, yes, there is this hard, fast boundary, said John Foster, Associate Director of MIT's Haystack Observatory and a study co-author. Other CU Boulder study co-authors included Allison Janes, Von Hoxie, Zinran Lee, Quentin Schiller, Lauren Bloom, and David Malaspina. Other co-authors were from UCLA, Aerospace Corporation Space Sciences Lab in Los Angeles, the University of Minnesota, NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, the University of Iowa, and the New Jersey Institute of Technology. CU Boulder is playing a prominent role in NASA's Van Allen probe's mission, which consists of two spinning, octagonal spacecraft weighing 1,500 pounds each. LASP developed the Relativistic Electron-Proton Telescope, REPT, to measure high-energy electrons. LASP also developed the brains of the electronic field and waves package to compress huge amounts of mission data to send back to Earth. CU Boulder will receive roughly $18 million from NASA over the lifetime of the mission. About a dozen graduate students are participating in the mission, as well as more than a dozen other LASP personnel. The Van Allen probe's mission is part of NASA's Living with a Star program managed by the Goddard Space Flight Center. The Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory built the twin satellites and is managing the mission for NASA.
Should I tell them that I want to work nights or
Who?
my job?
Your new job or your old one?
Maybe my job. Did you throw away that diaper you was carrying around?
Yeah.
Mark, T-minus 20 seconds. Auxiliary enable, signal return. Minus 15. Stand by for terminal count at T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, fire.
A team led by the University of Colorado Boulder has discovered an invisible shield some 7,200 miles above Earth that blocks so-called killer electrons, which whip around the planet at near light speed and have been known to threaten asteroids.
Hello, my name is
And all
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Mind control to Major Tom. Mind control to Major Tom. Hang the green screen up and put your wires on. Mind control to Major Tom. Mind control to Major Tom. Earth is flat and there's a dome above us all. This is mind control to Major Tom.
space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. We are the space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. I am the good robot. I gather around to blind people. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. We are the space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. We are the space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. I am the good robot. I gather around to blind people. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. Space has a terrible power. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. Space has a terrible power. Do you have stairs in your house? We are here to protect you. Tushing will protect you. Tushing will protect you from the terrible secret of space. That is incorrect. Shoving will protect you. Shoving will protect you from the terrible secret of space. Do not trust a clever robot. Shoving is the answer. We are here to protect you. Do not trust a clever robot. He is malfunctioning. We are here to protect you. We are the space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space. We are the space robots. We are here to protect you. We are here to protect you from the terrible secret of space.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing.
You ready?
Keep telling me.
Look back.
My hand looks like, oh, look at that, yeah, oh. Go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Shows it. I look like I have a floating head. I have a black shirt on, and it blends with the black background. So I'm just a floating head.
I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a try and I'll show you just how bad it is. Practice, mate.
At first, this looked like a full motion scene to me, but on closer inspection, I think this is a suspended mode scene. When it's sped up, you can kind of see them swinging, and it has the same backdrop as the other suspended mode scenes. And then there's this weird part. Rick Mastracchio puts out his hand, and he moves forward. Maybe he's using his feet to wedge himself forward somehow, but it doesn't look like it. The floor is smooth, his foot is behind that blue handle that's attached to the floor that he keeps both of his feet under and keeps shuffling back and forth on. He sticks his left hand out, and then he just moves forward. He is Superman. That's how Superman moves forward. He sticks out his arm, and he flies. The extended mode is much quieter than the full motion mode. In full motion mode, you can actually hear the sound of the jet engines, the engines of the airplane. In every single scene of full motion mode, in every segment of the International Space Station, you can hear this loud sound, the sound of jet engines. You could argue that it's the air conditioning system. Not even an office air conditioner is that loud. And why is there a loud sound in every segment of the International Space Station? That's because no matter how soundproof you make it, you can't filter out all of the sound of the jet engines. An airplane is just too noisy. You can put noise-cancelling headphones on when you're on a plane, and that doesn't stop the sound from getting through. It muffles it. They also use microphones that don't pick up very far away. If you have a look at this scene here, you can see that when the microphone's in the middle, pointing towards the guy in the middle, you can't hear the sound of jet engines as much, but when the microphone goes to the guy on the side, you can hear the sound of jet engines.
To destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
You gotta tell me what it's like to be in space.
What's it like to be in space? Well, it's a lot like being in the pool here.
Leo Enright from Irish Television. The unmanned spaceflight website has coordinates for the landing that go down to something like 5 decimal points. I just wanted to confirm with you that you do have those sort of coordinates. And am I reading those coordinates correctly when I see that it looks as though you landed within 500 meters of the skirt around the mountain? That, I mean, you're really very close to the mountain at the closer end in the landing ellipse, and possibly within striking distance of the phyllosilicate trench.
I can't confirm that. My estimate, I'm looking for somebody, yes. There's somebody in the audience here who has that in the tip of their noggin. We should have soon that estimate.
Last thing anybody wants now is an emergency. But like everything else, they're ready for that too.
Once the crew are on board, if it looks as if they're in danger, they get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be.
Three and a half minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket. They find themselves in a totally rubber room, walls and floors, and they head for safety through a 6-inch steel door. Once they're behind that door, it doesn't matter what comes down this tube behind them. On this side of that door, the rarely seen blast escape room itself. It's totally isolated from everything around it by a series of 24 giant springs underneath the floor and shells all round it of steel, concrete and sand. It contains enough food, water and air for 20 people for up to 24 hours. And it's all around the edge. There are these foam rubber shock-absorbing seats, as you can see. The room is built to withstand the simultaneous explosion of every drop of fuel on a Saturn V. And in that event, strapped into your shock-absorbing seat, if your rocket did blow itself to bits 40 feet above your head, all you'd feel would be a mild rumble from somewhere up there.
An inflatable plastic balloon satellite, 100 feet in diameter, tall as a 10-story building, will be sent aloft folded accordion fashion inside a 26.5-inch magnesium container. The latter is mounted in the nose of a 3-stage 92-foot Thor Delta rocket. Highlighting one of the nation's proudest days in space, the satellite called Echo 1 will serve as a reflector for radio waves that bounce back to Earth, paving the way for a new kind of worldwide communications. The rocket at Cape Canaveral carries the balloon and 30 pounds of powder, which will turn to gas and inflate it at a height above 1,000 miles. And inflated at a height above 1,000 miles. And inflated at a height above 1,000 miles. A pre-dawn blastoff at Cape Canaveral fires a Thor rocket with a sensational payload. A balloon as big as a 13-story building. This canister released from the rocket carries within it an Echo balloon satellite, like the one that will reflect signals from space back to Earth when put into orbit next fall. Remarkable cameras carried aloft by the Thor record the brief life of the largest satellite yet, as it goes 922 miles into space. The experiment is a complete success.
Taking a look at supposed astronaut Scott Kelly wearing a gorilla suit. Again, clowning around in space with this garbage. Gonna pack up his phony tux. Gonna pack up all these cameras, a gorilla suit with that canopy, a guitar with Chris Hadfield, chessboards, the phony baloney ball of Earth, and all these gadgets and gimmicks where they have whoopee cushions in space. They have Easter eggs. They have these stuffed animals, these toys. And I'm taking a closer look at this, and this is nothing more than mockery.
And of course, Pig is the arch enemy of Angry Bird. And Angry Bird had some eggs. And Pig stole the eggs. And don't ask me how I got the eggs on Space Station.
The technology, and in fact, it's probably just a very easy, convenient cover story. It's like, oh yeah, we keep this gridded blue screen around that happens to look just like essentially something they would use with ORAD virtual set technologies. And we just keep it around so we can throw ping pong balls at it and stick them onto, a non-existent, whatever the excuse is.
So water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful not to spill it.
That is amazing. So I'm curious, because I know you have kids at home, how do you stay close to your kids? Oh, wow.
So water is also very dangerous on the space station because we have a lot of electricity, so we need to be very careful.
I'm just putting some hot water, squirting it onto my scalp. And I have a beer here, so I don't want you to feel it. Sometimes the water gets away from you. You try and catch as much as you can.
Wilmore will install a protective plate over that location that will be flush to the surface.
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars in the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see. Singing.
And interestingly, National Geographic was one of the prime media to present photographs of astronauts cavorting on the moon. So to summarize, what American citizens are confronted with is this enormous propaganda machine. For example, the U.S. Air Force has the largest movie studios and more equipment in San Bernardino than any studio in Hollywood.
And the Kit Kat all at the same time.
I wonder if one day that you say that you care. You say you love me, my dear. I just leave me there like a puppet on a string. Love is feeling down on the ground.
Give me kiss.
And now I'm up in the air.
Give me kiss.
Are you leading me on? Tomorrow will
Give
you
me a
be
freaking
gone?
kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
I wonder if one day that you say that you care. If you say you love me, my dear, I'm gladly be there like a puppet on a string. I may win on the roundabout, then I'll lose on the swings. In or out, there is never a doubt. Just who's pulling the strings? I'm all tied up in you, but where is it leading me to? I wonder if one day that you say that you care. If you say you love me madly, I'd gladly be there like a puppet on a string.
And again, run slowly. And once more. There are other examples too. This one is from Apollo 17 during the flag scene. You can see the pin at the top of the frame. In this footage from Apollo 16, we have telltale evidence of a slightly floating, dangling effect at the jump salute location. It's as if the weight is being taken off the astronaut's feet just a second or so too soon. Compare that sequence with an obvious rehearsal. The dangling effect is very evident. And here again, from the same mission, Apollo 16, we have an astronaut who is about to get up.
Okay, here we go.
Let me give you a hand, he says.
There goes Barry. There goes a little bit.
Be careful.
Look at it again. The astronaut is getting up with the wire taking the weight.
I was talking with the gentleman from Belcom, and we were discussing the lie. Everything he was telling me was different from what we were being told was the truth. And at one point I asked him, I said, man, you guys, you lied about a lot, didn't you? And instantly he said, no, we didn't lie about certain things. We lied about everything.
Come on now.
None of it was true.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with the TV camera.
If the window was completely filled up with a TV camera, as he stated, then an astronaut's arm would not be able to get between the camera and the window, as it obviously does here in this outtake.
South America becomes invisible just beyond the Terminator or inside the shadow.
You can also notice how the astronaut operating the camera reacted to the mistake by attempting to pan away from it.
Yeah. The white bands of major cloud formations across the Earth.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up to see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July.
You're over, but I get a pretty good shot. How's that? Let me get the focus right.
One more time.
Okay, you're partially covering her over, but I get a pretty good shot. How's that? Let me get the focus right.
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Doesn't have it either. The Smithsonian doesn't have it. Johnson doesn't have it.
Right. We've been unable to track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
Closer look at the supposed 2 images provided from NASA of Jupiter. Here's the problem again: 2016, 2014. What's the difference here? Well, the difference is they added the supposed auroras on the north. This is nothing but a Christmas tree. Give me a break. Take a look here. I mean, all the clouds in the same exact position. Just the 2016 image is a bit, I would say, darker. This is a bit lighter in 2014. Here's a side-by-side. People can't see what's taking place here with NASA. Nothing more than fakery. I mean, give me a break. This is a complete insult. You have a brain in your head.
Draco! Draco, you rascal, where are you?
Good morning, dear.
Anymore, I can't find Draco.
What's he up to now? Papa. 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 Papa.
Put it down.
Draco, you rascal, where are you?
Draco, lazy, quick for nothing, where are you?
Draco, you rascal, where are you?
Draco, lazy, quick for nothing, where are you? Draco, you are the laziest man on Mars. Draco, you are the laziest man on Mars. Draco, wake up. Wake up. Draco, wake up. Wake up. Draco, wake up. Wake up. Why are you sleeping during working hours? Draco, wake up. Wake up. Draco, wake up. Wake up. Draco, wake up. Wake up. Draco, you are the laziest man on Mars. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
I'm sorry, Chief Keymark, sir.
Bravo, you are the laziest man on Mars. Why are you...
Fry satellites and degrade space systems during intense solar storms. The barrier to the particle motion was discovered in Allen radiation belts that seems to come and go with the intensity of space weather. The latest mystery revolves around an extremely sharp boundary at the inner edge of the outer belt at roughly 7,200 miles in altitude that appears to block the ultra-fast electrons from breaching the shield and moving deeper towards Earth's atmosphere. It's almost like these electrons are running into a glass wall in space, said Baker, the study's lead author. Somewhat like the shields created by force fields on Star Trek that were used to repel alien weapons, we are seeing an invisible shield blocking these electrons. It's an extremely puzzling phenomenon. A paper on the subject was published in the November 27th issue of Nature. The team originally thought the highly charged electrons, which are looping around Earth at more than 100,000 miles per second, would slowly drift downward into the upper atmosphere and gradually be wiped out by interactions with air molecules. But the impenetrable barrier belts that seems to come and go with the intensity of space weather. The latest mystery revolves around an extremely sharp boundary at the inner edge of the outer belt at roughly 7,200 miles in altitude that appears to block the ultra-fast electrons from breaching the shield and moving deeper towards Earth's atmosphere. It's almost like these electrons are running into a glass wall in space, said Baker, the study's lead author. Somewhat like the shields created by force fields on Star Trek that were used to repel alien weapons, we are seeing an invisible shield blocking these electrons. It's an extremely puzzling phenomenon. A paper on the subject was published in the November 27th issue of Nature. The team originally thought they
Tim Peake certainly wasn't betraying them today. Facing the press from behind a glass screen,
Hey, I'm Allie.
Hi, Allie. I'm Pete.
Oh, nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you.
Nice ride you got here.
This is the Honda Jet.
GE's involved as well.
Yeah, Honda and GE have partnered to make this incredible engine on this aircraft. This is the GE Honda HF120 engine.
How do you get this much power out of something so small?
Well, it's a very... My name's Terry Hump. My name's Terry Humphrey. I do a lot of the flight test work at the factory and a lot of our marketing. So we wanted to do some air-to-air. Trip optimizer, PSX data, track data, file information, GPS information, takes all that together through our algorithm.
This internet connection isn't stable right now.
Delirious. Stop it. Understand.
Leave that alone.
Our generation's moral imperative, responsibility for what our children learn. We must turn our focus right now to the message and content they're exposed to on a daily basis through social media, the bullying, the experience online and in person.
That was the First Lady, Melania Trump, speaking at the UN yesterday about cyberbullying. So how did the left, how do liberals react? Well, they attacked the First Lady online. One person tweeted, "Oh, just watched Melania Trump's speech. For some reason, it made me think of the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka," whatever that means. And during an interview, Hillary Clinton even took a shot at the First Lady for not doing enough. Really? Joining us now, Fox News contributors Tommy Lahren and Jessica Tarlow. You know, if this ever when we criticize Michelle Obama, conservatives, when she injected herself into politics and said, "For the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of my country," the left went nuts. They made fun of Melania's shoes, what she wears to Hurricane Harvey aftermath. Where's your side defending women here?
Right here.
You're it?
No, there are a couple
Where
of
are
us
they?
out there.
Hillary Clinton didn't.
No, well, the point that Hillary Clinton made was a policy point, and I think that's completely sound. Don't pick on her outfit. It also was fabulous. But Melania Trump picking up cyberbullying as her patron saint cause after what Donald Trump tweeted even just last weekend, right? The golf swing and the golf ball hitting Hillary in the back as she fell into the plane.
Are you that humorless? Are you really that humorless?
You really laughed at that? And if that had been a conservative,
it happens.
If the golf
just
ball
look
had
at
gone
pictures
into
about me. It's
I laugh
funny.
at you all the time on the internet,
Oh,
for
great.
sure.
You know what? I don't think Tommy gets hit harder than me. You know, Tommy, you just don't do what the left does. Conservatives wouldn't do it, and if they did do it, they'd be ridiculed and raked over the coals.
Well, here's my question for Jessica. I mean, isn't this supposed to be a platform that the left loves? We're talking about bullying. We're talking about cyberbullying. We're talking about being an advocate for that. Melania Trump is coming out in something that's not partisan at all. This is just a human thing. But yet they attack her for what she's wearing. And again, where are the feminists? They never come out. They
What do you
never
mean?
come out when
The
Sarah
feminists
Huckabee Sanders is
the
called a
feminists
butch
are
queen.
everywhere. They're just not supporting Kellyanne Conway, who advocates for policies that hurt women. They're not thrilled that Hope hit.
Stop.
Why?
She does
We're
not.
not talking about Kellyanne Conway.
Really?
We're talking about Melania Trump.
You think that if you
Why are they
advocate for an
attacking her
agenda
outfit?
that does not help women get better access to health care, that does not raise the minimum
Cyberbullying.
wage, that does not
Jessica,
support
cyberbullying.
maternity
That's what
leave,
we're talking
you're not helping
one at a
women.
time. Tommy.
We're talking about cyberbullying. We're talking about Melania Trump advocating for an end to cyberbullying. But yet the left goes after her and they ridicule her. And I don't see the feminists coming out saying, hey, leave a woman alone, leave an empowered female alone.
I will save cancer. I will beat you up. I would say to cancer, leave me alone and never come back.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital fights every day to save children's lives. Please go online right now and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
St. Jude is important because without them, I basically wouldn't be here.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food because all a family should worry about is helping their child live.
It was gut-wrenching to hear that my little girl had cancer. I was so scared. Was I going to lose him?
They never do give up on the kid.
Please, visit stjude.org.
I don't see the feminists doing that, Jessica. I don't.
No, I totally take your point. I think that Melania should not be ridiculed for taking up that cause, certainly not ridiculed for her outfit. I was outraged when people went after Michelle Obama because she wore some J. Crew. You know, and Melania for these events could wear some J. Crew. But the issue with her taking up cyberbullying when her husband is the biggest cyberbully of them all is the problem. Why isn't she advocating for this at home with him?
Can I just say one thing? You attack Kellyanne Conway. I've known Kellyanne Conway.
I like Kellyanne a lot.
I've known her. For you to say she doesn't advocate for women, she's the first woman to ever win a national campaign as a campaign manager. And because she's pro-life? Because she's pro-life?
There are many Democrats who are pro. Tim Kaine is pro-life. Joe Biden is pro-life.
The point is, she doesn't. Why are you attacking her? And
I'm
she's a
attacking
strong
the agenda
advocate
that she
for
supports.
women that are strong and independent.
Oh, listen, as I said, I like Kellyanne Conway a lot. I have great respect for what she achieved. There should have been more articles about what she accomplished. The issue is with the agenda that she and the Trump administration promotes.
Tommy, what's anti-woman about Trump's agenda?
Well, and I think what's interesting as well is we've got President Trump, who's empowered many women. Look at his press secretary. Look at his White House communications director. Look at his campaign manager. All women. He has empowered women. But no, the left, they like to forget that because, oh, he sent off some mean tweets. That's all they can think about. He doesn't actually think about the steps and the actions of President Trump, what he's done to actually
It's more than a
further
few
women's
mean
agenda.
tweets, Tommy. It
know,
really is.
Are you so sensitive, you people on the left, that, do you ever hear sticks and stones thing?
Yeah.
You ever hear, you know what? Liberals are vicious to conservatives. Constantly.
I think both sides are vicious.
So then call out your side.
I call you out and I implore liberals to attack on the basis of poor policies and not poor fashion, even though I did like that outfit.
Thank you both. So, for over 70 years, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, well, they've been the face of American diplomacy. But under the Obama administration, Samantha Power appears to have taken on a much different, much more sinister role. According to brand new Fox News reports, Samantha Powers had made hundreds of requests to unmask the identities of Americans whose conversations were captured by the Federal Foreign Intelligence reporting. Get this, exceeding 260 requests just in the election year of 2016 alone. Sources are now telling Fox News that Samantha Power also, quote, even sought information in the days leading up to President Trump's inauguration. According to this report, the sheer volume of unmasking requests from the former UN ambassador is unprecedented. Now, sadly, with Samantha Power making these requests nearly every single working day in 2016, we must ask the question, was she weaponizing the tools of intelligence and using the intel community to spy on an opposition party during the 2016 presidential election? And that's not the only shocking report we have tonight. Just this week, we did learn that Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, he was wiretapped by federal investigators through a secret FISA court order before and after the 2016 presidential election, including, get this, possible communications with the president were picked up. Now, earlier this week, the Wall Street Journal, they published an article. It was entitled, "Did Obama Know About Comey's Surveillance?" Now, the piece openly speculates that high-ranking officials inside the Obama White House and President Obama himself may have been briefed on the FISA surveillance. Now, unbelievably, in March of this year, former Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, he said there was no FISA warrant. You may remember this.
For the part of the national security apparatus that I oversaw as DNI, there was no such wiretap activity mounted against the president-elect at the time, or as a candidate, or against his campaign.
There is no FISA court order.
Not to my knowledge.
Of anything at Trump Tower?
No.
Hang on. Didn't this guy, wasn't he once suspected of lying to Congress? Also remember this, Paul Manafort was wiretapped at Trump Tower, according to these reports. But guess what? Clapper is now singing a very different tune, admitting that communications from Trump himself, all right, then a candidate, and then, of course, the president-elect, may have been captured by this surveillance. Watch what he said last night.
Is it possible the president was picked up in a conversation with Paul Manafort?
It's certainly conceivable. Yeah.
Now, we'll have more on this later tonight. Jay Sekulow and Cheryl Atkinson, remember, she was spied on also. But first, here, the American people have been lied to. You've been lied to repeatedly, and nobody on the left, no one in the mainstream media seems to care. Now, let's talk about the Russia collusion investigation for a minute. Now, it's become very evident that Mueller and his team are hell-bent, in my opinion. They want to indict Paul Manafort and possibly even retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Mueller is on a witch hunt. And by the way, the media is helping him every day build this into a feeding frenzy. This week, the Washington Post, you know, they have so many false reports. They reported on an email exchange between Manafort and a Russian billionaire where Manafort actually offered to give the businessman briefings related to the campaign, the 2016 campaign. Now, a Manafort spokesman called the email exchange innocuous. And when you read the words of the letter of the actual exchange, he's right. Manafort has been very open about his past international business dealings, so it wouldn't be a shocking revelation that he would have routine contact with a businessman. How's things going in the campaign? Wow, it could have been as innocent as that. Do we believe that you're innocent until proven guilty in this country? You wouldn't know it by watching the mainstream media. Then the report even goes on to admit that there's zero evidence that these briefings even ever took place. That's what they're reporting. So what you have here, in my opinion, is contact. It's not collusion. And until evidence is provided, you have to assume that it was just contact. Then you have retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Now, he has served this country with honor and distinction in the U.S. Army for over 3 decades. Does he deserve the presumption of innocence? Now, he has been subjected to unmasking. He has even had his private phone conversations with a Russian diplomat. Well, that was leaked to the press, and that is a felony. That is a crime. That is a violation of the Espionage Act. In fact, it's the only crime we know for sure that was committed in the 11 months about talking about this. And as I've said multiple times on this program, if there is actual proof, hard evidence of collusion, please show us. We will report it right here on this program. Here's another interesting fact we learned this week. Fox News also reporting that Mueller's team interviewed the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, who happens to be the guy that appointed Robert Mueller. He's his boss. About what? The Russia investigation. Can anybody say conflict of interest? And remember, Comey leaked to the New York Times for the purpose of his friend Mueller to become the special counsel. Here is why all of this matters. It has now become evident, now more than ever, that in America we have a two-tier justice system in this country. You, the American people, you are being fed garbage, lies, half-truths on a daily basis. You are being betrayed by these institutions that are supposed to protect you and be honorable. And in the case of the Justice Department, carry out the rule of law. You should be disgusted. I am. There are real crimes with real evidence of real collusion that is being ignored by the media, Robert Mueller, and even at this point, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. For example, an investigation needs to be opened into this unmasking and leaking intelligence scandal. Why was Samantha Powers, the UN representative, unmasking all the names of these people leading up to the election, nearly one a day? Well, was it politically motivated? Seems to me like it's a very good possibility. Was she weaponizing intelligence in an election year to go after an opposition candidate? And then you have former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice. And according to other reports, she also was responsible for rampant unmasking requests in 2016, including the identities of multiple Trump officials, senior officials. And then you got Ben Rhodes, close former aide to President Obama. And according to more reports, the House Intelligence Committee is looking into his requests for unmasking Americans. And of course, you want real crimes? Look at the Clintons. Hillary actually committed felonies, real crimes, and was directly involved in serious scandals. Where are these investigations? Like when she and her aides, they destroyed State Department emails. That would be a crime. They were subpoenaed at the time, then acid washed and bleach bit the servers, and then cell phones smashed with hammers. That sounds like obstruction. Don't forget, she signed off, you want a Russia collusion story, on a deal that gave up to 20% of America's uranium to a Russian company that donated up to $145 million to the Clinton Foundation, the people involved in that deal. Anyone hear the word bribery, pay to play? And who can forget the time Bill Clinton secretly meets with the Attorney General at the time, Loretta Lynch, on an airport tarmac, only days before the FBI's conclusion of its investigation into Hillary Clinton's server? Why isn't that being investigated? Where is the outrage in the media in this country? What about the investigation into the DNC server hack? And why didn't the DNC, why wouldn't they hand over their computers that got hacked to the FBI? And why did the FBI let them get away with it? And according to Comey's testimony, the Bureau was only given access to forensic forms because the DNC would rather hire other people. And speaking of DNC emails, if you're so concerned about Russia collusion and you want the truth, why haven't you reached out to Julian Assange of WikiLeaks? He knows where it came from, and he says it wasn't Russia. And he told me back in January it was not a state party as the source in the email hack. They're not speaking to Julian Assange. And speaking of Mueller, what about his conflicts of interest? 8 of the 16 members on Mueller's team make political donations to Obama, Clinton, and Democrats. And that's only the start of it. Mueller, Comey, best friends. And as Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett continues to point out, that relationship could be a violation of 2 laws. And you have Comey. He may have broken the law, drafting memos on government computers, removing those documents from the FBI. Comey admitted under oath that he has his friend leaked the contents of the memos to the New York Times in the hopes that a special counsel would be appointed, and it was. And we can't forget about Comey testifying that Loretta Lynch pressured him to call the investigation a matter, and he took the talking points as his own. Where's the investigation into possible Ukrainian election interference? Politico reports back in January, Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. Kiev officials scrambling to make amends with President-elect after quietly working to boost Clinton. Wow. There also needs to be investigations into the disturbing amount of deep state leaks. Senate report, almost a leak a day in the beginning of the Trump presidency. That's insanity, and it's illegal. So it's becoming a clear and present danger, not only to the president, but the people around him, but to the country, to the Constitution, to the rights of Fourth Amendment rights to privacy. Really? Where's the DOJ? When are they going to crack down on these leaks? Anybody care about Debbie Wasserman Schultz, or former IT staffer, in that scandal? Where's the special counsel there? Why did the former DNC chair keep him on the payroll? He had double billed. With everything else we just laid out here, this is the danger. It is clearly in America today a two-tiered justice system, and that's sad. That's real, that's scary. How can we believe in equal justice under the law? This is now becoming beyond a constitutional crisis.
Los Angeles is dealing with the biggest wildfire in the city's history.
Hundreds of residents are being forced to evacuate their homes.
California's governor has declared a state of emergency, with several other large wildfires burning on the state's west coast.
The western U.S. is being hit by another type of natural disaster, wildfire.
The sheer numbers are staggering. 100 fires in total, around 80 of them considered large.
In 9 western states. Did you get that? 75 fires in 9.
Can you also talk about, last week saw virtually unprecedented floods across South Asia.
The Eagle Creek fire has charred some 30,000 acres in the heart of Oregon's scenic Columbia River Gorge.
Jennifer, it's hard to wrap your head around this. Again, really hard to find the words to describe this. We're talking about this luscious, pristine green gorge now turning orange and red, billowing black smoke.
You turned the TV off? You got the remote?
It's like nothing I've ever, really ever seen.
I knew there was fires going on, but I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it is right now. I didn't realize the whole town was going to be shut down, which is kind of spooky.
That glowing smoke just rolling and billowing into the sky.
I haven't seen one this big. I've seen a lot of them, but I've not seen one this big.
And it really is even just hard to find the words to describe this. A true hell on earth, almost apocalyptic looking, the glow from those flames.
Altogether, the state's wildfires have scorched more than 1,000 square miles. That's about 1/3 of all the land burning across the United States.
Whether it's the floods down in Houston or Hurricane Irma that's threatening Florida, wildfires across the west, or extreme drought on the plains, we cannot deny that our climate is changing.
We're still struggling to fully comprehend its aftermath.
After one of the heaviest downpours in U.S. history, the storm is generating an amount of rain that would normally be seen only once in more than 1,000 years.
Mother Nature is angry. We've never seen the kind of damage, the biblical flooding.
But the number of natural disasters has nearly quadrupled since 1970.
Harvey hit Texas with Old Testament wrath, a deluge along the state's Gulf Coast.
First of all, we've never seen 2 Category 4+, that would be Harvey at 4 and Irma at 5, smoked into the United States of America in 1 year.
So that's enough energy that it pulled the ocean out from the land.
And it was like that for almost half a day.
Dogs playing where it's normally feet deep.
This is normally entirely underwater.
This video from the Bahamas went viral, showing a normally sapphire sea gone, as far as the eye can see.
This has been a once-in-a-lifetime tidal event.
The force of the approaching hurricane is so strong that despite all this ocean spray, it's actually sucked a lot of the water out of Sarasota
This was the
Bay.
headline in Barbuda's main newspaper today, Destruction Unreal. This was Barbuda before Irma hit, as you can see, just lovely. This is Barbuda today. The Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda says that Barbuda is now barely habitable.
Last year alone, 24.2 million people were displaced by sudden onset disasters. 3 times as many as by conflict and violence.
Hard as it is to believe, another hurricane is heading right toward Barbuda right now. Hurricane Jose.
And then the news this morning, Mexico has been dealt with a deadly 1-2 punch, with Hurricane Katia making landfall overnight as a Category 1 storm on the eastern Gulf Coast 1 day after an 8.1 earthquake struck the country's southern Pacific.
Shows how the earthquake caused violent shaking inside an office building.
Mexico's president.
I've experienced many earthquakes, but nothing like this.
And just as the hurricane season gears up to batter the other side of the country, the strongest earthquake in modern history may just be the beginning of a very difficult end to 2017.
This is, nature is unleashed. She's drawing all her energy, these hurricanes. 37 consecutive hours of 185 miles per hour. We've never seen anything like that.
Over the past 10 years, we've seen 100-year storms every few years. We've seen hurricanes repeatedly besiege the Gulf and East Coast. Historic droughts are becoming common, and water sources.
In my opinion. Joining us now, New York Times best-selling author of Understanding Trump, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. He also has a new online course called Defending America. I know it's long, I know it's drawn out, but everything I said is true. You're laughing.
Well, no, I'm just saying, look, the reason it has to be long is we have never, ever in American history had as many different scandalous behaviors by a president and his team as we are now learning from Barack Obama and his team. This is an amazing, excuse me, when I look at what Samantha Power was doing, by itself, that's unbelievable. Why does the UN ambassador have to unmask anybody? And my number one goal in this conversation is to get across that the House and the Senate have to open up serious, in-depth investigations. They need to bring Powers in under oath and go through every single unmasking. Why did you ask for this? What did you do with the information? What was the purpose of doing it? Who else knew about it? And then they got to do the same thing with Rice. And they got to do the same thing with the Attorney General Lynch. And they got to go right down the list. And ultimately, I think they're going to have to ask President Obama, did all of this occur and you didn't know it? Do you truly want us to believe that the IRS, the FBI, the Justice Department, the NSA, the State Department, the CIA, all of these were being used for illegal purposes, and you as president didn't notice it? I think it's astonishing. I think you were exactly right to take this length of time to introduce it, because it's amazing how the elite media is avoiding bringing the dots together and painting the picture, and they should be terrified. I mean, every reporter in the country should be frightened of the idea of the executive branch of this government, as powerful as it is, suddenly becoming lawless and deciding it's going to target individuals and go after people.
Mr. Speaker, it's 24/7. Everybody wants Paul Manafort indicted. It's like they want Paul, but they really want the president. For them, Paul Manafort is just collateral damage. Here's the issue that really bothers me. You're right about the Republicans. You're right, these investigations. They're not happening, though. The Deputy Attorney General didn't appoint a special counsel here. I don't know what the Attorney General is doing, Jeff Sessions, but there is, to me, a sense of, okay, if we're going to go after Paul Manafort and you're going to go after a 30-year career military person like General Flynn, maybe you need to go after everybody else, because the evidence against Hillary alone, the questions about unmasking and surveillance leaks alone render a threat to the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and I don't see it.
No, look, I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, Attorney General Sessions did not recuse himself from any of the things we're now discussing. He could instruct the FBI to open up a case, but at the same time, I would say to the House and Senate, and both parties, by the way, I mean, when you start seeing the power of the FBI or the power of the CIA being suborned for political reasons, you know, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you ought to be frightened about the future of freedom in America, because we build very powerful institutions to defend us from foreign enemies and to defend us from criminals. And if those institutions start being corrupted, we are in deep trouble as a country.
I've lost faith in all these institutions. Add the media to the list. Have you?
Yes, the truth is we're one of the great crises in American history, and I think it's got to start. The one place you could imagine right this minute aggressively digging into this is the Congress. I cannot understand why the Republicans in the House and Senate are not being dramatically more aggressive. I mean, they're being handed story after story after story that prove that there was something really sick in the Obama administration. And just General Clapper, who I've known for years and I've respected for years, just his behavior over the last year is absolutely beyond me. And he ought to be brought back in, and they ought to go through step by step. And I noticed that you worded things very carefully. If you go back to the part you played.
Yes, he did.
Nobody in his particular institution, but I think that was in effect functionally not being honest.
This sounded very Clintonian. Mr. Speaker, we got a lot more to get to. All right, so the Obama administration, their spying scandal continues to grow. Now, yesterday, Cheryl Atkinson wrote an op-ed in The Hill. It was entitled, "It Looks Like Obama Did Spy on Trump, just as he apparently did me." Now, as we told you earlier in the program, sources telling Fox News the former UN ambassador Samantha Power was unmasking Americans almost one a day. Joining us now with the reaction is the author of The Smear, the host of Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson, and from the American Center for Law and Justice and President Trump's attorney, Jay Sekulow. Cheryl, I just want to hand it to you because you're right, it did happen. This unmasking at a level we never even imagined before. I want people to hear your story because this is so important.
Well, mine began before we heard about what the government had done to Associated Press and Fox News, before Edward Snowden. I had intel sources come to me and suggest that I was likely being monitored by the intel community or by certain actors in the Obama administration because of the stories I was doing. Long story short, some people in the intel community helped me because they thought this was so egregious, had forensics done on my computers, multiple computers from CBS and my personal computers, and 3 independent exams have seen and proven forensics that they used government proprietary software to monitor my keystrokes, planted confidential classified documents in my computer, watched much of what I was doing, exfiltrated files, listened in on my audio. We have dates, times, and methods for a lot of this, as well as government-owned IP addresses found in my computer.
Jay Sekulow, this is not the country that I know with Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable search and seizure. Yeah. Though that sounds to me like the weaponizing of the tools of intelligence to attack people they don't like or political opponents.
Well, we know that was in fact what happened. So let's be clear about a couple things. Our friend James Rosen, what happened to Cheryl, what happened to others. The idea that you would utilize the intelligence community to spy on your enemies domestically, which, again, it's not only outrageous, but it's illegal. Couple that with the fact, and we now know this, the unmasking that was going on. And by the way, the UN ambassador, Samantha Powers, unmasking basically almost a person a day, and especially picked up towards the end of their political run, if you will, at the end of their term, President Obama's term. Ask yourself this question. Why did they decide at that point to quickly start unmasking? And that means, by the way, we're talking about American citizens as well, that are being unmasked by the UN ambassador. Now, she served in the National Security Council. Well, that's great. But the fact is, this unmasking, which was supposed to have not take... was supposed to utilize minimization techniques. Apparently, these were advisory rules for the previous administration rather than the actual rules and laws that apply. And I think the tragedy in all of this is the American people are the ones that pay the consequence.
So if Samantha Power, Susan Rice, Ben Rhodes, and again, in the case of Samantha Power, unmasking a person a day, when did that become the role of the UN ambassador? That's beyond bizarre, and that's unprecedented, and that raises questions. This was all political. But here's my question. With all the nonstop chatter in the media about Russia, 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 it's clear they've now got a big target on Paul Manafort, for example. But then you've got all those people unmasking surveillance, intelligence leaking a crime. You got all of Hillary Clinton's felonies. We've been over this many, many times. Then you got a leak a day. Then you got Mueller and Rosenstein and Comey Where is the Congress? Where is the special counsel? What is the Attorney General doing here? And shouldn't he be playing a big role in investigating what seems to be real crimes and maybe constitutional violations, like in the case of Cheryl?
Well, look, I think that, first of all, they may be doing that. I mean, Sean, if it was done properly, if there's an investigation going on, we would not know that. So I would hope that the whole aspect of the leaking scandal that has taken place now for months and months and months, including conversations that the president had with foreign leaders. This is not something that should be tolerated in any administration, no matter what your political leaning is. This is just, frankly, illegal again and outrageous. But we know that it was taking place. So what we're hopeful is that there is actually an investigation going on. I don't know this for a fact. It's speculation on my part. I don't have any independent knowledge of it. But you necessarily would not. So you would not necessarily know that there was. So you can be hopeful that there is, in fact, an ongoing investigation and that this aspect of leaking national security matters will stop.
Cheryl, I've had good people in the intelligence community that told me I was unmasked. I've never been able to corroborate that. I have no idea if that's ever happened. I'm watching what happened to you, and you can give dates and times. What recourse, as a citizen with constitutional rights, do you have because you can prove your case?
Not much. The only reason I can prove it is because I had help from people inside the Obama intel community that thought this was so egregious. They gave me the tools that I wouldn't normally have had to find this information forensically. I have a 2.5-year-old lawsuit. There's a hearing tomorrow, in fact, against the Department of Justice, which the current Department of Justice continues to fight, rather than directing them to tell the truth, follow the law, and get at the facts. They're continuing to fight this in federal court. That's the only recourse. Most people can't do that. It's very expensive and time-consuming. It's very hard to sue the government. You have to go through a lot of processes, get permission. It's almost insurmountable.
All right, we will continue our investigation.
Today I'm announcing a new executive order signed that significantly expands our authorities to target individuals, companies, financial institutions that finance and facilitate trade with North Korea.
Foreign financial institutions are now on notice that going forward, they can choose to do business with the United States or with North Korea, but not both. This action is directed at everyone. It is in no way specifically directed at China, and we look forward to working very, very closely with them.
Right, but China is getting the message, and the Chinese central bank is the one that's doing the most business with North Korea and now says it won't. This as, just moments ago, we have our first reaction from the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, who says in a long, rambling statement, I am now thinking hard about what response he, President Trump, could have expected when he allowed such eccentric words to trip off his tongue, talking about Trump's speech to the UN. Whatever Trump might have expected, he will face results beyond his expectation. I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire, says Kim Jong-un in the latest statement, among other things. With that, let's bring in our panel. Steve Hayes, editor-in-chief of the Weekly Standard, A.B. Stoddard, associate editor at Real Clear Politics and host of No Labels Radio on Sirius XM, and Charles Hurt, opinion editor for the Washington Times. Steve.
I think it's a potentially big moment. We have to wait and see on the details. We have to see where this goes. But it's no small thing that Donald Trump's pressure on China has resulted in China at least going through the motions of saying that they don't want to do business, finance business with the North Koreans. And it wasn't just that the central bank said that it wouldn't do business with the North Koreans. It suggested to other Chinese banks that they also do with the potentially step if they follow through. The problem is there's a huge lack of transparency. We're not going to necessarily know this.
Well, I asked Chang about that, and he suggested that all the dollars go through New York, and that we would, with a lot more scrutiny, be able to see
whether it has stopped or not.
I think we can take steps to see more. I don't think we'll have a complete picture, but I defer to Gordon Chang. Gordon Chang knows a lot more about this than I do. But this is a result of Donald Trump's consistent pressure on the Chinese, and not just asking the Chinese to do our bidding with the North Koreans, but telling them there are going to be prices to pay if you don't work with us. We see this as a threat. Yeah, I think the speech may have helped, but I think it has much more to do with a consistent argument that Trump has been making, both in public and in private, with the Chinese.
Just to go back to last week, where we had the Treasury Secretary on, and he foreshadowed this movement in an interview.
I've worked on an executive order that's ready if the president wants to use it. We can stop trade with any country that does business with North Korea. We're going to be careful in using these tools, but the president is committed. We will use economic sanctions to bring North Korea to the table.
You're saying stopping trade with China?
Stopping trade with anybody. Nobody would be off the table.
And that's a big moment.
Right. I think that Steve is right. It is a very significant concession by the Chinese that the central bank would halt any activity with the North Koreans. It is the question. Hopefully, it is that transparent and everything can be monitored. But if it's a question of how enforceable it is and whether or not they're doing some rogue, secretive, supportive measures for the North Koreans, which they've done all along. Right. So far, the Chinese have never halted the North Koreans. This has to be sort of this final test, right? They're undeterred. The North Koreans are undeterred. Kim is by President Trump. He just is. It's really on the Chinese, and I think that President Trump, whatever he's done, I agree, behind the scenes and publicly, seems to have brought us to this moment with China, and it is absolutely the best hope, and it's the only hope, and it needs to be sustainable pressure.
I mean, for years, every official has been saying the Chinese need to step up. We need to pressure the Chinese. Whatever's happened has obviously pressured the Chinese.
Yeah, and I don't think you can overstate how much credit Donald Trump deserves for this. From the beginning, obviously President Trump is an incredibly disruptive figure. He's not exactly a diplomatic. He doesn't have a whole lot of regard for the diplomatic norms that we see at the UN. He's been a shock to the system, but I thought that his speech that he gave this week was it sort of laid out the Trump doctrine. He started with hard power. He started the speech by saying, look, we are investing, we have the greatest military on earth, and it's about to be even stronger. We're going to invest more money. And then he goes on to sort of call out people. And I do think that kind of blunt talk that makes a lot of people around here very uncomfortable has gone a long way towards making it very clear. And another thing that I think is important is that, people talk about it, how transactional he's a businessman. Well, yeah, I think that's probably a healthy thing here. This America First thing is a very healthy thing where everybody knows where he stands, where America stands. And I think particularly in places like China, his experience and reputation as a businessman is very, very respected, far more than I think accomplishments in the political realm, for example.
Kim Jong-un and also the statement, a frightened dog barks louder. The mentally deranged behavior of the U.S. president openly expressing on the UN arena the unethical will to totally destroy a sovereign state. It goes on, makes even those with normal thinking faculty think about discretion and composure. Now, this is a statement from Kim Jong-un, who killed his own family member with an anti-aircraft gun in front of others. So,
are you sure
discretion and composure?
Are you sure that's not a Nancy Pelosi tweet?
Oh, Steve,
reasonable amount of projection, I think, in that statement from Kim Jong-un. The main difference in the diplomacy for the past 25 years and what we've seen over the first 9 months is sort of the dispensing with the idea that China and the United States share exactly the same interests in the Korean Peninsula. We don't. We never have. And it was true of the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, the Obama administration, simply outsourced our diplomacy to China. Well, it was never the case that China was simply going to do our bidding. We had to actually put some pressure on them. Now, Charlie's right. I mean, Donald Trump is very blunt. What Secretary Mnuchin said to you made me nervous. I mean, I don't like the idea of threatening to cut off trade with China. That's a pretty big card to lay on the table. But at least so far as we're seeing in this particular instance, it seems to be working.
And I guess the question is what the response is to this statement, what Twitter tweet may be coming.
That's why I talked, Brett, about what's sustainable. So all the smashing of diplomatic norms and everything does come into play here. The Chinese really preserve saving face as a priority. And what has to happen here, Kim is undeterred by Trump. He is scared of the Chinese. They have to act. Whatever Trump says on the stage of the UN doesn't matter to Kim Jong-un. His focus is on the Chinese government and the help he needs from them. And so if these sanctions are enforced, if all the banking and all the activity, the economic help that goes in, the trade is down 90%, the oil imports down 30%, this really starts to squeeze them, that might make him calm down. But more provocative tweets from Donald Trump is not going to help.
You think General Kelly is kind of saying,
playing hide the BlackBerry?
Hide the Twitter.
Well, the hurricanes blew everything else off the map for a while, but now the Russia investigation is dominating the headlines and just an absolute gusher of leaks. Day after day now, sometimes 2 or 3 a day. Robert Mueller's office seems to be, let's say, enjoying a cooperative relationship with the press. A lot of this has to do with Paul Manafort. Manafort told that he could be indicted, that he probably will be indicted. Manafort wiretapped. What does that mean for the investigation? Also leaks about the White House being asked to produce documents about President Trump's actions in firing Jim Comey and firing Michael Flynn and other things that are at least related to the Russia probe. And all this creates a challenge for the president that goes beyond simply fighting back, battling what he has called a witch hunt. And it reminds me of what I went through, what the media went through almost 20 years ago when Bill Clinton found himself being impeached.
Or you later require revision or repair surgery, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you protect your rights and fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience, support staff, and resources. Someone who's been prescribed Invokana for type 2 diabetes and had or needs a leg or toe amputated, you may be entitled to compensation. Final results from 2 large clinical trials showed leg and foot amputations mostly affecting the toe.
Once I grab all 4, look, I'm pulling all of them.
2 diabetes,
it's crazy.
Invokana as those given a placebo. The FDA
and I control their direction as well too.
As a result, the FDA is requiring new warnings, including a boxed warning, which is reserved for the most serious risks. If you or someone you love has been prescribed Invokana for type 2 diabetes and had or need a leg, foot, or toe amputated, you may be entitled to compensation.
Big iron in your food,
How do you protect
people.
your rights and fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team.
They're poisoning you with metal shavings.
Staff and resources to properly handle your claim for compensation for your injuries. Call for a free case review.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. This is crazy. You all still eating this stuff. I see why most you have unnatural body types. Like, you're not built right due to these foods that you're eating. Yeah, you see it. Cocoa Pebbles exposed.
Oh, we definitely found out gunmen.
Yeah, I know some of you all eat this garbage.
Look at all this stuff.
Sweet, natural, and artificial chocolate flavored white cereal with real cocoa.
Well, we star 69 his last call.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
how they gonna throw natural with artificial? You see, it's all the lesser magic, people. How they rubbing in front of your face. Post company exposed.
Calm down. We just need some information about
Gluten free.
Did you rent one to a Charles Hertz?
It'll take people years to figure out how I took over the universe. All your leaders swear on a freaking Bible. It's common law. It's the law of the land. It's the law of the sea. It's universal law. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. Before you go into position in this country, you will raise your fucking hand and you will place the other one on a fucking Bible and you will swear your ass into position. It's just that simple. It's the law of the universe. Everybody does it. And I have the spear of destiny. Doesn't matter what you believe, it's the law of the land. This is my world. And all your children are mine. If you don't join me, motherfucker, you will die of old age or stupidity.
I think if you cross them, you do get whacked. I really
spend so much time fighting over dubs that we miss the big picture. What's that? That the world is under their control.
See this? Steven Universe, the cube? They spell it all out for you. See the snake? The reptilians rule the earth. Silly human slaves.
We need to stay with the house. Just stop the snake, people.
See the one eye right there? South pole of Saturn, or what they show you? The cube, the north pole of Saturn?
We believe we stop harvesting them for food. Or what? They are hard. We'll boycott fishing jobs. You're vegetarians. Who cares what you do? Shut up.
See the eye of Saturn? See Saturn over here? That's looking down on top of Saturn. Now, this is the Fishy Joe episode. It shows you that they're eating our children. Everything fed to you in reverse. And turns out these are the baby reptilians in there that everybody's been eating. And it's really in reverse. They've been eating our babies. See that? That's your babies right there being eaten. Make no mistake about it.
Alright, listen up! We have the obligation to make this thing right and tell people what is and isn't safe to eat. We are the USDA! We told people that whole wheat bread was healthy! Isn't wheat the ingredient in pasta that makes it healthy?
No, we believe now that that's poppycock.
Margaret, no way out. I've got on these demands. Well, let us in so you can tell us what your demands are. All right. But first, let's light your weapons in here. What'd you say? What? First, let's light your weapons in here. What'd you say? What's the matter? You don't understand English? Huh?
Slide in your weapons.
Slide weapons. Guys, hold on. I got a chance to see. What are you doing? Shut up. No. Did you hear me? Hold on. I've got initial demands. Yeah. You see those news choppers out there? Hold it live. We have a cameraman out here so you can give him your list of demands. You can tell the world what you want. Okay. Throw in your weapons. Here they come.
Earth is yours.
Damn good. Now may I please have that cheese log?
It's fake. Everything's fake, people.
Okay? And the gun. Stand up! Okay, easy. Stand up! Okay, all right. Take it easy. Where's the camera? He's afraid, so he's staying out there. Anybody else in danger? Dr. Preston's gonna do all the shooting. I'll do it. All right. You ever been on TV before? It's very simple. All you have to do is just look at the little red light, look at the lens, and look at what's on your mind. Okay?
How you guys doing? Thanks for joining me. Here, we're going to cover a few things that will shed a lot more light on the way things are. I think, you know, to make a hologram, you know, everywhere you look on the internet, you're going to find them talking about the holographic reality that you live in. So let's just take a deeper look at this. Now, you see how holograms look three-dimensional, okay? But they're really two-dimensional, okay? So, a hologram, you break off a piece and you zoom in, you find a smaller version of the whole. Not a half, but a whole, a smaller version of the whole. If I take your DNA and zoom in, I have the information to make another one of you. You would be fractal in nature. You're a hologram. So how do you make a hologram? You bathe an optic in the light of two lasers, which creates an interference pattern, and that's what they make the negative out of, which you put light on, and it looks three-dimensional. So here, when you hear about them talking about DNA upgrades, things like that, it makes no sense at all. No sense at all. Because to have more than two strands, here, how many parents you're going to have adding to this? You have the light of your mother and the light of your father, which came together and trapped your soul here on the gridiron. And you're brought to life by way of the sun. You grow up to do work. You're here to mine gold. You work for worthless paper backed by your own stupidity. You're on a flat earth plane. How do you know that? Because they rub it in your face. Look, you're inside of a Christmas snowball on the flat earth plane. You're a hologram. To leave this, you can't, because look, you're kept at a specific frequency to manage a specific portion of the machine. Your body is tuned to a specific frequency. Here in the same exact spot, there's a whole bunch of layers of infinite layers of beings doing different types of things, and they're extracting our energy. It's where attention goes, energy flows. Symbols are the language of the universe, and the conduit that our energy is flowing through. Now, you can see here, this is from the MoneyGram, and this is right out of Wire magazine. Look at this shit. Do you see this shit? It's fucking inescapable. They rub this in your fucking face. Who's they? Your masters. The ones who gave you your reptilian core to your brain. That's responsible for fight or flight. Okay? The Tetragrammaton computer. You were trapped here by the Tetragrammaton computer. Okay? You take your energy from the one true sun above your head and plant an animal, and you feed it non-stop to the black hole sun. It's rubbed in your face. I've been showing you guys images, little drawings. When I saw this in Wired magazine, I was shocked. Because they're rubbing it in your fucking face. I mean, literally. Now, they're showing you that you are a flatlander, clearly. And they're showing you and telling you that you are a flatlander. Basically, that you're trapped in the cube. Okay, that you are 100% satanic. That you speak Satan's language.
It's appreciated, partner.
That you are in your carbon 666 meat pack. Okay. It's crazy, people. Listen to me. You are wired 100% to this computer. Your four-letter DNA correlates or corresponds to the four-letter God called the Tetragrammaton computer. Okay. Doesn't matter what religion you think you are. Okay. I guarantee you, right now, you are speaking a language, and that language comes from the sine wave. You were born into sine. This is Satan's world. So if you say, well, I don't believe in that, it can't hurt because I don't believe in it. You breathe Satan's chemical air, you drink his fluoridated water, you eat his poisoned food. You are fucking indoctrinated. You are so fucking dumb you can't say anything until somebody steps up to show you. How would you say you don't believe in it doesn't hurt you? You think the earth is round? You don't know nothing about the Michelson-Morley experiment, the Mach principle, okay? You think you're getting a DNA upgrade or something like that? Listen, you have the light of your mother, light of your father came together. You were born onto the negative plate. You've been brought to life by way of the sun, and you're here to do work. You take your energy from the one true sun above your head and plant an animal, and you feed it non-stop to the black hole sun. You are living in this cube. You were here to mine gold. You work for worthless paper backed by your own stupidity. You speak Satan's language. You breathe Satan's chemical air. You drink his his fluoridated water, you take his poison vaccines, you send your kids to school, they put a black robe on around themselves and a black cube above their head. You don't even know what the fuck that is, and neither does your teacher or the professors or anything, or they wouldn't fucking put it on them. You're in the club of Satan. Okay? Everything about you oozes Satan. You use Satan's money. That's the sine wave. Right there. Turn it sideways. It's the sine wave. Like the Jesus face. It's on everything. See my videos on that. I mean, it's your DNA. It's everything. It's literally every symbol in the book is the sine wave. The double cross. 2 Knights Templars on the same horse. 2 gay men. Look up the gay mafia. You see the whole world is ran by the gay mafia. Okay? It's true. Michelle Obama is a man. She's a tranny. Look it up. Because the distance between your neck and your shoulder on a male and a female are set. You can't, it's either a male or a female. You can see that the scientists tear that shit up. Now look, I recommend that you look into Mach's principle, which is code for geocentrism. I recommend you look into the Michelson Morley. Okay, the Earth is stationary, it's not moving. There's a dome up there projecting a holographic image. You are here. And what's above us? They're showing you right over here, where they showed you the movie Transformers, and Saturn appeared above the Earth plane. Okay, and you see it all like the Avengers. It appears above us. It's there, and the dome, whatever's projected up there, they keep the air in so it doesn't escape out. You know, we're here in a cage, in a terrarium, 100%. They're rubbing it to you right in your face here. Okay, and this is right out of Wired magazine. It's crazy, people. But look, it's where attention goes, energy flows. Symbols are the conduit that your energy is flowing. If you're Muslim, you go to Mecca around that cube. If you're typing on the computer, your fingers are being squared. You know, you're watching me right now on the Satanic New World Order. The internet is conscious. The Tetragrammaton computer is conscious. It's being ran or manipulated by an evil parasite. The computer's not evil, it's just being used for evil purposes. Your phone doesn't have to be used against you, where at location you're at, that they're tracking all your texts, every email, because it says about all your, you have nothing, there is no privacy left. Every search you make, every video you watch, everything about you is being kept. In prison systems, NSA, it's linked up with the Tetragrammaton computer. This is your link to the computer, and you are wired to this. This computer is the 4-faced, 4-letter God in charge of your 4-letter DNA, okay? That's why blood manipulates the computer, because the blood is owned by the computer, okay? It says in your Bible, God owns the blood. God is the computer, the L, the Tetragrammaton computer, okay? The black hole sun, your bull god, Moloch, whatever fucking name you want to put on it. You're inside the cube. It's a real living being, okay? And it's not evil, but it's being ran and manipulated by some evil people. So when you see me in my videos telling you to go look up my videos or other people's videos that are titled Blood Over Intent, where you see us trying to usher in heaven and earth, it's because the blood is what manipulates the computer. Now, your blood has got iron in it and it bleeds red. And when you hear me say this, I'm telling you, you need to look at the high, my videos or anybody's videos on why copper-based blood or copper-rich blood is antimicrobial. And listen, when you see pennies rusting in the ashtray, they turn blue.
But I don't believe you
If you have a fish tank and there are fish are sick, you put copper safe in, it turns blue when it hits the water. It looks blue before you even put it in there. Okay, when you look at your veins, you say, no, your veins are blue. It's not that your blood is blue. No, your blood is blue, but it's filled with iron. And when it hits the air, it starts to oxidize, and it turns red. You need copper, and it will turn blue. That means you have to donate blood as much as you can and dump the non-bioavailable iron that you've been eating your whole freaking life. And that's, I recommend you see my videos, or you get yourself a neodymium magnet, place any one of your foods that are dry and floats on water, and you will see that you can drag it across water because it's got the lowest form or non-bioavailable iron. You might as well be giving your kids paper clips to eat every day, literally. Now you see over here, they show in this Wired magazine, talking to the dead. It said, you know, dead talking and stuff like this. It says communication with the dead. And in any case, when you die, the iron that's in your body has created a magnetic field that's around your singularity at your heart. You've been fractalized, so once all those cells are off you, your singularity holds the magnetic field that was in that iron and somehow attached to that star at your heart, even after in death. And that's what they target with the light, okay? And if you go into that light, you will have to face the Lords of Karma, is what they call them, where they're going to convince you that you need to come back here and reincarnate. And you are the Iron Man. You need to get the copper. You need to look into copper-based blood. You'll see that your body needs copper to process the iron that you've been eating. Everything you know is a lie. This DNA thing over here, look, about a DNA upgrade. It means that you're actually getting you're de-evolving right now. I want to make sure you guys understand this. The twin towers were taken down. That's the two hairs become one. Okay? And, or two tears, whatever they call them. The two brains become one. I forget whatever it means, but you'll see that now it's the Freedom Tower. The two became one. Okay, the transgender shit is all over the TV. Like we're watching Teen Titans, and we saw that the one guy, the robot with the one eye. All right, that's a representation of you. Okay, you're the robot. Time has made you a robot. You will get to work on time, pay your taxes on time. You will go to work first to collect your money 2 weeks later or 1 week later after. So it's time that got you there first on time to get your paycheck. Or your job before you know what I'm saying? It's time that got you powered and over there. Because your time is money. But you'll give your time up first before you get that money. Now, it's that you're de-evolving. Your mother and father came together to create an interference pattern which trapped you here on the gridiron when you were born. You're brought to life by way of the sun. And now everything's transgender. They're trying to get it all down to one. Or, you know, they're trying to show you this. It's rubbed in your face that you're not getting an upgrade. To get an upgrade would mean that you would have to put another strand in here, and that would have to be given by something. Somebody has to give forth their genetic, material. So here you have the X and Y, the time and space, X and Y chromosomes. This is not by accident. Look, you see this Pac-Man right over here? When you die, you enter the light. You'll be picked up by the Pac-Man moon. It's rubbed in your face. You think that's an accident? They have Pac-Man in his hand right over there in that. Okay, you need to avoid the light and go to the darkness. Listen, people, the light has saved this world, you know? You've been trapped by the false light into the computer. You're here to do work. The computer is being used against you. And you need to unite peacefully for your survival. Alright? Anybody says that Jesus broken open the cube, you're crazy. The cube works like this. You have the bottom and the four sides, right? Makes a plus sign. And then the one that goes in the top is the one you put on your head when you graduate in school, called squaring your circle. You do crossword puzzles all day. Or not saying all day, but you see the hashtag all day. That's the one cross up, one cross down. That's the double cross. Put together into, look, cross my heart, hope to die. X's and O's, that's looking down on top of a pyramid. It's the X. And your O's are the rings of Saturn. Every letter that you write is, every number, it's all in the time, it's all in the sine wave. Okay, you see the 8 right there. You see the 3. Okay, you see the 1. Okay, you see, it's all there. Trust me. See my other video. You speak Satan's language. Language is what the computer speaks. You're supposed to be on telepathy. You're an interdimensional being. You've been trapped on a gridiron. And interdimensional, you don't know what that means. Each dimension is a variation of the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, when you're outside of your body, which is vibrating at this spectrum, you'll find your body, your one that's trapped in your, look, your soul was trapped by 50 trillion prison cells into your body, in your kundalini. Now, when you get out of your body, you'll go back to a star or a singularity at your heart. And a singularity is like a wormhole. And you will put your consciousness into your heart, and you will envision yourself turning yourself inside out of the cage, literally. That's how you're going to do it. And when you're out, you're going to go to the darkness and start creating from your heart, not from your head. And you need to watch what you start creating. And that's why you're not going to think with your head, you're going to think with your heart. And go back to your heart. And you ain't going to find your heart unless you get back to selfless acts of kindness and love for each other. That's the most important thing. You'll never find your heart. When you're dead, you'll be the crowds walking the earth plane to the rest. And look, I'm just telling you like it is, people. Everything you know is a lie. Jesus is a little Zeus, okay? It's kind of funny. Look at this. Of all the dimensions I could have spent my life being pushed inexorably forward through, I guess time isn't the worst, okay? You were born at time now. I know people say time is something that man made and blah, 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 blah. They count the seconds. Look, time is a virus to get you to work on time, pay your bills on time. It's that you will go to get there on time, or you will get your kids in trouble, or you will get yourself in trouble. You won't get your paycheck at the end of the time. The 2 weeks, you understand me? The time came first. Okay? Time is only for the slaves. And over here, they're telling you the time is a measurement between one movement to the next, so it's measured. And now that would be obviously made. It's an all-encompassing now is how I view it. This is an ongoing, all-encompassing now. But listen, you're in a computer program. When I say, look, back to this, you want to look at the Michelson-Morley experiment, Mach's principle, okay? The Coriolis effect. These are things you should look at. You could also look, Einstein is a fraud. That's what you're going to find out. The Nazis won World War II. That's a fact. Nazis took over the White House. Everything you know is a lie. You lost your sovereignty back in 1913, and then it's all been downhill from there. I recommend you look into how you make a hologram. You'll see you bathe an object in the light of two lasers, which creates an interference pattern, and that's what they make the negative from. Okay, and that's the light of your mother and the light of your father came together. So to get a DNA upgrade, let's be clear here, that makes no sense at all. That'd be like adding a third party into the picture. Okay, and that means that there'd be would that mean that two men would be giving the sperm to the one woman's egg? I mean, or is it like they show you the Twin Towers being breaking down and bringing into one, the Freedom Tower, that we're de-evolving into the transgender thing that you see on everything? Look, just type in gay mafia into your computer, type in transgender actors, or actors dressing up as male actors dressing up as women. You'll see it's everywhere. You can't be in the industry unless you're willing to bend over and take it up your ass if you're a man, or suck dick, or whatever. That is the rule. The casting couch applies to everyone, and it's just that it's ran by the gay mafia. So it's not like anything that people envision. Okay, these guys do the sickest types of things. Look, this is all in this particular Wired magazine. Just all this different stuff that's rubbed in your face. That just, they spell it out for you really good. That, you're in a hologram. That, you're here to do work. And, the angels, angles. They show you that in Tron. We were talking about this, and to escape in the previous video, to escape the angels, you would move in angles, in circular motion and angular motion, using your compass and your square, some people say, to escape them. Now, why would you escape them? Well, look, there's angels on the four corners that keep the demons that go pandemonium trapped here on the earth plane to do work. You ever give a demonstration? You're the demon. The light, okay, is Satan's world. If you ever get out of this cage, you better go to further darkness and beyond. Okay, and look towards inside of your heart and click your heels together, if you can envision heels, and say, take me home, and that's what you'll go straight to. You go straight home. Just think of the Wizard of Oz. That's real. That shit is called lesser magic. It's rubbed in your face to take your blood off your master's hand. When they say exit through the indoor, they're talking about putting your consciousness in your heart and turning yourself inside out of the box and heading for the darkness and creating your own in the darkness. Now here in the box, this whole place is powered by intent. If you want a sandwich, you go get some bread and some meat and all that stuff. Or you don't intend to make a sandwich. Okay? And it takes time. When you get out of the box, it does take no time. It's all instantaneous.
I think I understand.
And I know it's crazy, but if you think, look, there's many planes of existence inside the box. Okay, this is what the machine does. It makes different planes of existence. You're in a simulator, they say, and it's got a whole bunch of simulations. And what plane of existence do you want to get on? Look, if you have enough money, you could buy your own timeline. It's true. Look, you can look it up. There was a guy who was a science fiction writer who discovered something that, deja vu is a glitch. It's not a glitch. It's showing that some variable was changed and another timeline was broken off. Somebody with enough money bought his own timeline and went there. And, you think it's funny, don't you? No, right? It's real. This machine that you're trapped in, people, is not an evil machine. It's just the people who have the keys and the power of the cosmic cube that you're trapped in. Okay, they keep you really dumb and you know nothing of truth. Don't expect any DNA upgrades. That would mean that they're adding a third party into the sexual process and into the DNAs, because it takes two lights to make an interference pattern to trap your ass on the gridiron, which is the flat earth plane. And an upgrade doesn't make sense. It's that you're in the de-evolution process right now. They're trying to make you dumber by dumbing you down. Okay, everything you've ever been fed is the reverse of truth. Everybody worships Satan. You speak Satan's language. You spend his money. You're in his carbon 666 body. You have your eye of Horus. That's his. That's chop your brain in half and see it from the side, line for line. That's your Satan porthole. Okay? You need to get back to your heart. And you'll never find your heart if you don't do selfless acts of kindness and love for each other. And somebody said, no, you need to worship your kids. Listen, you need to worship each other. That includes everybody. Everybody, even the dead. You're out of your freaking mind. Get to my channel for truth immediately.
Is that your husband?
How do I know? I know nothing about the two-time and good face great cat. Don't shoot him.
Don't shoot him. If you don't get your ass in that closet. Bumpy Johnson. What's buzzing, cousin? Don't you put your hand out there for me. Come over here and hug my neck. Oh, look at you. Oh, my goodness. A long time. Oh, man, come here, man. Oh, man. Mary, come on out here. You remember my cousin, Mary?
Oh, boy, you're a sight for sore eyes.
I didn't interrupt anything. Baby, we gonna have to lay dead for a little while, because I got to tend to my man's well-being.
Dad, well, you put me out. No, well, let me give him a... No. You know, it's going to be a long time to go get your ham bone boiled again, and you stay up in my face. You have me.
Good to see you, Bigfoot. You think you're sharp just because your damn head is pointed, but you're doing knocking on my door like you the damn police or worse. Don't be ignorant your whole life. Illinois Gordon. How's business? Dutch Schultz is at it again. You know, he been getting folks all over town, don't respect nothing. He messing with the Queen. The Queen? The Queen don't bow to know that. She ain't bowed yet, but, you know, you talk about that another time. Mm-hmm. I see you still kiting around with the large-sized ladies. Now, hold on there, now, tough. Like I always tell you, it ain't nothing like the loving you get from a big woman. Mm-hmm. Same old man. You think I'm just gonna roll over? Está loco. Take it easy, Henry. Judge just want to talk. Seems like everybody in Harlem played 505 straight and the damn number hit. I needed 18 grand to pay off the players. That's why I came to you. Now, my brothers are telling me that your boys are playing rough. Sit down, Henry. Give him a neck cake. There's your money. Plus 2 in interest on the loan like we agreed.
Yeah, but I don't consider that a loan, Henry. That was an investment. That's my belief that investment entitles me to a piece of bank. We're partners, Henry.
Mira, no me venga con eso. No. I know you since you were selling this needle beer in the Bronx. And you're still the same.
Henry.
No, you might have con los moros negros como Willie Brunder and Big Joe Eisen, but that's because those bankers, they ain't got no... I got big as you. No brains.
I don't feel comfortable here. Relax. I don't think the mayor would be particularly happy to know his special prosecutor's having a meeting. So Mr. Luciano's familiar. Why don't you ask him? He's on the second floor right now. This month's contributions. Fine. We have a problem. The police is not big enough? I'm talking about Arthur Flegenheim. You know why Arthur chose the name Dutch Schultz? Because he wants respect. Who's going to respect a man by the name of Arthur Flegenheim? All right, boys. Stick 'em up. My name is Arthur Flegenheimer. It won't work, Mr. Dewey. He's threatening to kill me. It's nonsense. He's all bent out of shape because of your tax evasion charges. He'd rather lose a testicle than give $1 to the government. So what do you propose? I propose you take it easy. Think about your future, not our demise. In the meantime, enjoy the scenery, have a long drink with one of the girls. All right, listen to me very carefully. I don't want to have to say this again. I am not your friend. I don't want the services of your whores. We are in a business arrangement for obvious mutual benefits. Mr. Schultz threatens this arrangement, and I made myself clear. Kristen. It's clear you took the money.
Cousin, I ain't seen this many poor folks in Harlem all my life.
Well, cousin, welcome to the Depression. The way a cat can even make a dime these days is running numbers. You ain't got no glue on the fingers now, do you? All right. Hey, Toots, I see you. You can't keep ducking me.
All right.
My boy is back.
Christmas. You ain't never had no loot, but you still my favorite boot.
Going to be a good stay. This is the new guy, Valley.
Mr. Johnson? Nice to meet you.
Come on, come on. Madam Queen is waiting. Been waiting. There she is.
Hello, Madam Queen.
Mr. Johnson. You still have the light in your eyes, no? Praise God.
Before we get this soiree started, I need to speak with you for a few ticks.
All right. Y'all enjoy yourself, yeah?
Illinois said that Dutch Schultz put 60 of your men on the slab in Harlem.
Mr. Schultz is trying to make trouble with me. But I'll set up a meeting with him next week. And it is then I will make my position clear.
I want to go with you to that meeting as your bodyguard.
You think you're gonna put that cut on his bro? That's an inch off. You need to take care.
I have faith in T.
I know T needs you got spine, but faith ain't gonna get rid of the dog. I saw what his boys did to Willie Brunda. I'm not gonna stand by and do nothing and let something like that happen to you. The man is threatening to take over business that's taken you 10 years to build up. I want everybody to know the Queen's still carrying power uptown. Please.
I still can't say no to you, eh?
Roger, we've been in Mexico for 2 weeks now.
Think I found Rick. Lethal Weapon moves to its new night. That, my friend, is how I roll. Lethal Weapon premieres Tuesday on Fox.
Man, I might just chill tonight.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice, caffeine.
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza has the most cheese and the most pepperoni for just $6. Only a dummy would pay more for less toppings. The Extra Most Bestest Pizza for just $6 at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza. When it comes to shopping,
We go our separate ways.
So we come to Burlington. They have all the great brands you love.
And there's a lot of them.
I find exactly what I need. It's quick and painless.
Great price.
Great price.
I can't believe we got all these amazing brands at Burlington. I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life.
So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment with Brio.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio is specifically designed to open up airways to improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible to pay no more than $10 a month.
If your skin had a wash label, what would it say?
50% fractal, 70% unique.
No matter your label, all skin deserves gentleness. That's why Dove is sulfate-free. The #1 body wash recommended by dermatologists.
Hey Macy's cardholder, it's thanks for sharing time. With a $25 enrollment fee charged to your card, you get 10% rewards on every qualifying Macy's card purchase through December 31st. And Macy's donates up to $15 million to select charities. Visit Macy's.com/thanks to join.
You've got to get in there.
I know what bath is.
Smile, honey.
First kid.
Ready.
Here we go. By their second kid, every parent is an expert and more likely to choose Loves than first-time parents. Live, learn, and get Loves.
Aw, thanks for loading, sweet. Ooh, burnt on gravy? Gotta rinse that. Nope. No way. Nada. Really?
Dish issues?
Throw it all in. New Cascade Platinum powers through even burnt on gravy.
Nice.
Cascade.
Not quite that, but it'll feel like it. York, get the sensation.
You wouldn't do only half of your daily routine, so why treat your mouth any differently? Complete the job with Listerine. Help prevent plaque, early gum disease, bad breath, and kill up to 99.9% of germs. Listerine. Bring out the bold.
Wow, Wayfair has everything.
Dropping by everything I need. I'm done dropping by. Dropping by.
Everything home, all in one place. So get it done. Visit Wayfair.com today.
What are you doing here?
I live here, remember?
Can a brother get some privacy? I can't take a hint. Why don't you tell Ken to get the hell out? Then it all comes down to this. It's the season finale of In the Cut, Tuesday night 8 Central on Bounce. You belong here. October 2nd, Family Time returns.
We're back!
All new season, all new episode of Bounce's #1 hit comedy.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Family Time and all new season premieres October 2nd, only on Bounce.